FIFA has lifted, they've actually suspended the suspensions for a year, but for all intents and purposes, red card's gone, at least the suspension's gone. Balogun's going to play for the U.S. men's national team later today, and I'm going to be honest with you, my man, I have extremely mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, I think that, you know me, I like to come in hot, I like to come in firmly on one side or the other.
You do.
But I think for this one, it's complicated. It's nuanced. There's different sides to viewing this, and I think that if you are someone who lives and breathes soccer, if you're someone who lives and breathes this sport, and the rules that are established are, hey, if you get the red card, there is no way to overturn it. There is no way to try to protest it. And as we know, look, was it originally supposed to be a red card as far as the foul itself? That's a separate conversation. Did they get the call right for the United States? That's another thing as well. I think for me, it's, hey, I hate corruption. I don't want to see FIFA corruption. If it helps my team, do I like it? Yeah, but it feels a little different. It does.
It does feel like corruption, and I hate how much I'm excited about Balogun, but it's still the wrong decision. And this is the thing, USA fans or everybody else out there, we don't want to have a political conversation, but there are some politics that just need to be mentioned. The President of the United States called the head of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, and by the president's own account and by reporting accounts that are out there, did not like the red card, asked for a reconsideration, and FIFA did that. Now, Belgium is furious. Everybody is furious. UEFA, which is the European governing body of soccer, right, sort of under FIFA but does Europe, is furious. And there is a precedent for this. Ronaldo, not that long ago, had a very serious red card that should have been a 3-game ban, and it was lifted when it shouldn't have been. And so it's hard for me to sit here and celebrate, yeah, Balogun, because when the Ronaldo thing went down, DMAC and Reiter here, 97.1 The Fan, when that went down, I probably should tell people I got so excited about the red card, the DMAC and Reiter presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. When FIFA pulled this smoky backrooms, I thought at the time it was garbage, to help Ronaldo, I was pissed off and thought it was corruption and thought it was ridiculous. And so I can't sit here and pretend that the decision to help the United States is fair. It's not fair. There's no precedent for it. But this is a wake-up call for soccer fans or casuals. This is how FIFA works. They just kind of do their own thing. And corruption, as you know, is unfortunately, it's part of the deal.
So that's the thing. I mean, I think you look at the Ronaldo stuff, right? You can also mention, should Lionel Messi have received at least a yellow card or red card against Algeria? And clearly by the lay of the rules, by the rules have established, by the precedents we've seen before that, yeah, you could certainly make that case. Was there a sense of favoritism for Ronaldo and Messi, and in this case now Balogun? I think that you absolutely can make the case. I think it's a very complicated conversation in that should he have gotten, for me, this is what it boils down to. And I hate the fact that it feels like you have people out there saying, oh, this is going to be an asterisk if Balogun goes out there and performs well and the United States beats Belgium. I look at it this way. It's an asterisk when a team is without their best players. You don't have full rosters. But under FIFA's own protocols, if you use slow motion and use still images for a play that was not originally called by Rafael Klaus, who was right there, right in front of it, can you make the case that the original upgrading it to a red card was erroneous?
I think, so here is the comparison I would use. The answer to your question is yes. And then I think the deeper or the more nuanced answer to your question here on DMAC and Reiter on 97.1 The Fan is this is the equivalent of a Game 6, say, in the Western Conference Finals, and LeBron James has just fouled out of the game at the end of the third quarter on a close call, but it's done and he's gone and he fouls out and they announce it and they go to commercial break and they come back and he's still out, and then, I don't know, 4 minutes into the fourth quarter of a tie game, Adam Silver makes a phone call and LeBron is readmitted to the game. At that point, parsing whether or not the sixth foul should have been a foul is probably not the story anymore. It's the fact that he's back in the game somehow.
And I follow that for sure. But I mean, I think for me, if FIFA did what every league claims they want to do in situations like this and ultimately get the call right, if the original red card was a mistake, whether you could justify that was a red card, absolutely.
But I'm red saying card mistakes all the time.
But I'm saying that the blindly enforcing the suspension to me is protecting the mistake, not protecting the rules.
Well,
right?
no. The rule is
but as far as the protocols to upgrade it to a red card, whereas it wasn't originally called a red card, of course VAR was involved in it, and then you go to slow motion, you go to stills, and in a play like that, I'm going by what you're telling me.
No, don't do what you know,
Wait,
dude. Don't even.
What do you mean?
I know you know how soccer works.
I know how soccer works. I'm not saying that, but here what I'm trying to say though is that if it was erroneous to begin with, to me it feels like you'd be protecting the mistake, not protecting the rules. If he shouldn't have received in the first place.
If you by that logic, every single time a call happens that people don't like and think is wrong, you then can just say we're going to undo this, even though it's not the rule. And by the way, fans are always going to see this the way that they want to see it. Americans have convinced themselves that it was not a red card. I talked to my mom on the drive-in, not a red card. I talked to my buddy today who loves that this happened, who's not a soccer fan, was lecturing me before I came here on how red cards work. The President of the United States, who it sounds like it was significant in this, said in his press conference he didn't know what a red card was or didn't know that it existed. The reality is that it probably can go either way. And the notion that it's not even remotely a red card is not the universal wisdom outside of the United States. So this idea that it was a corrupt act of malpractice by the official is wrong. It might have been the wrong call in a marginal way, but Doug, and I know you know this, and I love your patriotism. I love what you're doing.
Trust me, I know you. What you think I'm doing. I'm not doing that though.
You are. It's fine. But A, it might have been a red card. B, it was called a red card. C, this happens all of the time, that VAR upgrades to a red card. And D, even if the call's wrong, you're not supposed to have a means. But all that said, I'm glad that it happened. I mean, I want to see Balogun play. I want the United States to win. So it's you're making me argue as the bad guy here.
I'm not.
As
trust
the voice
me, I'm
of
not. Like I said on the top of the show, that I think that it's extremely interesting because, let's be honest, as you point out, I guarantee there's people that have been watching soccer for 3 weeks and think they're the expert on red cards and suspensions and things like that, when the truth is, as you point out, that you could absolutely make the case that the original call could have been a red card, would have been a pretty aggressive red card. I mean, could you say it was an orange card, something like that? Maybe you possibly could. But look, I mean, I think we're kind of at the point where we realize that there is influence because this is the United States. The World Cup is being played here. They're the host nation, and their president got involved, right? There's a red card. They played the Trump card, whatever you want to say about it. It feels like that's what happened in this situation. It feels like that's what happened in this situation, right? And at least there was a massive impact towards it. And here's the thing. If you're the United States, a couple things I wonder about this too are, if you're Belgium, you have something where it feels like it's us against the world.
I agree, dude.
We have something to play for. And if the United States, is this too much of a distraction? Of course, you want your best goal scorer in there, and sometimes you just got to take a break. I mean, I didn't see Diego Maradona say, I didn't touch the ball with my hands during the hand of God goal, right? I mean, sometimes things happen. I'm not saying comparing them to apples and apples, but...
Well, I think the right comp here would be if Maradona had done that against a host country, and then 3 days later they go, actually, Argentina lost.
Okay, there you go.
Right, because here's the thing about, here's where I actually come down on this. DMAC and Reiter, 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. If you want to call us 855-97 LA Fan, we're good enough to win without Balogun. Was it a garbage call? Maybe. Do we all want Balogun to play, the striker for the U.S.? Of course we do. I like Ricardo Pepi. I like his backup at striker. I don't think Belgium has played very well. I think they've been lackluster. I thought Senegal, who they beat 3-2 in the last round, was actually the better side for most of that match. I hate the asterisk of it. I hate the way that my friends who are soccer heads, who are not American fans, right, who are not U.S. men's national team fans for whatever reason, sort of have looked at me the last 36 hours or talked to me. We didn't need this. He's not Messi. And we're not playing Argentina. To me, whatever the intentions, whatever the reasons this happened, whatever the pressure that was put on, whatever the corruption of this, it also just feels grossly unnecessary, and it kind of feels like a lose-lose. Well, if we win the match and then we keep winning, people will eventually forget. but it's just going to feel kind of off today, and it didn't need to.
Yeah, I mean, it sparked an entirely different conversation. People talking about asterisks and American privilege and exceptionalism and things like that. And really, this team was about good vibes and overperforming and just being one of the surprise teams of the tournament and really make an impact for American soccer. Now it has created this, are they getting a handout? Are they getting special treatment? And you understand it. I mean, I think that this seems like more of an indictment towards FIFA more than anything else, how things are handled with red cards and whether you can contest red cards, suspensions because of red cards, things like that. But, hey, justice delayed is better than injustice enforced, right? So if it was an injustice, if you fall on that side... It
wasn't an injustice, it was just a call. But, it's not an injustice, dude.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, is that if you
an
feel...
injustice would be fans who can't come to the United States because who have tickets who are turned away. An injustice would be people have been scammed out of $2,000 because they thought they had a ticket. And just whatever.
But if the VAR wasn't used properly, though...
I mean, I don't know. I think we're really stretching. I just think people are really... Because they slowed it down to show a red card. Yeah.
I'm asking you because you are soccer boy!
Soccer boy!
Is that a Bikram yoga stretch to say that is like... I want to say where it's like you get a wrongful conviction, you overturn it because you see new evidence. Is that evidence that's tampered with, or is that just the lay of the land in the world of soccer?
It depends which Bill Reiter you ask me here on DMAC and Reiter, because you know this. When we're watching sports and our heart is in it, we see it one way, and when we're sort of impartial, we see it another. Like if there's a close call that decides a World Series out for the Dodgers, most of us are going to view it based on whether that went the Dodgers' way or didn't go the Dodgers' way. That's just kind of the way that fandom works. If you're asking me as soccer boy, I think that Balogun shouldn't play, clearly. If you're asking me as a guy that is passionate about the U.S. men's national team, that screams and swears at the television, that loses his mind on the radio and will probably do that at 5 and try to turn my mic off because I keep gasping every time something happens, I'm relieved that the dude is playing. But I can recognize, as unfair potentially as the Balogun red card was, the unfairness of it is dwarfed by the fact that he's going to play, if you look at it from a neutral perspective. It's pretty crazy the guy's playing.
Yeah, and I think, too, on top of that, the other layer to this is how Belgium basically gets, 24, 36 hours, right, to prepare for a different group that they weren't going to see. Hopefully this settles itself on the field one way or the other, and as you point out, the more that they win after this, the more you'll forget this, but really, that is going to dominate tonight. All eyes are going to be on Balogun, fairly or unfairly. He's got to go out there and just be a soccer player tonight and go out there and do his best to help this team. And that's a really good point, because if this was if the shoe was on the other foot here, Bill, and this was Belgium, and they were going to be without their top goal scorer originally, and then you had things behind the scenes that led to him playing, I'm sure there's probably going to be a lot of U.S. soccer fans that would have been pounding their fists on the table and screaming that that's an injustice, right? I mean, anytime it's like that meme that's been going around, right? Like corruption that's for you, you'll support, right? You'll absolutely support, or if you want to call it that, but that's the interesting part of this whole thing too, is that, hey, they got their best goal scorer in there. There's going to be some blowback because of it, and we'll see how things play out tonight.
I will say this, that there's been sort of a call online from people that think this is wrong for Balogun to sit himself. That is such an unrealistic proposition wherever you come down on this. And I think you and I actually are bringing some nuance to this conversation on DMAC and Reiter, where most people that I've heard are very sort of black and white or on one side or the other. If he's available to play, Pochettino has to play him. And if Pochettino has to play him, Balogun can't refuse to play for his national team.
Yeah.
It's amazing too, DMAC, because I'm looking at the bracket here. It is wide open. Spain just barely got past Portugal, but they looked kind of listless and they looked off, and they scored a goal at the very end on more of a mental mistake by the center backs by Portugal than anything Spain did. Lamine Yamal, who I'm a huge fan of, and you and I have sort of marveled at his talent, did not look all that impressive. So Spain is next up for the winner of USA-Belgium today. And yeah, France has been a monster, but other than France, who the winner of Spain, and then whether it's USA or Belgium, the winner of that match will play probably France. France plays Morocco, but you can beat anybody on any given day. The World Cup is wide open, and some of these upsets have been absolutely astounding. The fact that Norway has advanced and that Mexico almost did, if the U.S. wins this, if there isn't some weird hangover by a distraction or a sense of weirdness, because the thing about the U.S. men's national team is it is made of soccer stars. They know how the game works. They're going to know how weird and unusual it is that Balogun's out there. And if, as you noted, it's a great call. If Belgium doesn't get some extra boost by the feeling of being wrong, then they might. If USA wins this, dude, sky's the limit, brother.
Yeah, I mean, the way that things are taking shape when we're getting deeper into the tournament, you're seeing the big clubs get tested. I mean, Spain, they had to beat Portugal at the very end. You saw Cabo Verde get everything they could handle against Argentina, give Argentina everything they could handle too.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that this is a rallying point for the U.S. too, for this team that really is getting close to uncharted waters and unprecedented success for this team. I mean, I think that this, based on the reaction, of course, their head coach Pochettino, he kind of reinforced that he felt like this was the right move, and clearly his teammates, they want to see him out there. He went on his social media, on Instagram, he posted a picture and had Michael Jackson's Bad playing for whatever reason. So maybe this is the U.S. team kind of taking, hey, we will be the villain if you want us to in some capacity. I mean, look, all great teams do this. All great athletes do this. You find some way to give yourself an extra edge. And I do think that, hey, if there is true to the fact that reversing a call that was made because slow motion or still images were used and the red card would have not been issued, I mean, if he had originally given it to him and it was upheld, then fine, but he ends up giving it to him because of the VAR. I think maybe that's the way that Balogun and the U.S. look at it, so maybe they don't have
I
this.
don't think they look at it that way, dude.
You don't?
I think they look at it as the President of the United States called the head of FIFA and said, let him play, and they let him play. I mean, I think, right? I mean, I think they know.
Yeah, I think you have to be naive to not think
it's
that.
It's even an awkward thing to talk about because we all benefit. It's great for the U.S. men's national team. You're right. It may have been the wrong call, and yet it just feels weird how it came down. On a slightly different note here on DMAC and Reiter, I don't know if you noticed because of all the U.S. men's national team stuff, but Portugal went down, which means I am not going to have to wear a Ronaldo jersey per our bet. Those of you that don't know, if Portugal had won, I had to wear a Ronaldo jersey and do some stupid thing that we don't have to talk about anymore. We can retire it. It's gone. Ronaldo's gone too. I'm going to say it. Good riddance. He's retiring from international play. I love it. Goodbye. I hope he's crying somewhere. I really do. I don't like the guy.
I'm curious if he had the
Spain.
Neymar tears on the field.
Yeah,
Yes,
those were real tears.
they were
Neymar's
real
tears were real.
Yeah, those are real. Love for Brazil.
Argentina, though, I don't know if you saw this. They beat Cabo Verde, Cape Verde, whatever we're calling them. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. Cabo Verde. All right, here we go. Then they have Egypt. Egypt's tough, but they'll be the favorites. Then they have the winner of Switzerland, Colombia, probably Colombia. That's tough, but not really. Dude, Argentina may win this thing. And for those of you that don't know, DMAC, right when the show started, went after Jeff Passan. Went at him. We're going to get him. Jeff Passan owes an apology. And Jeff Passan's a friend of mine and a friend of yours. And we had Jeff Passan on the show a few weeks ago, and I didn't bring it up because I'm # great co-host. Kindest co-host on earth. But if Argentina wins the whole thing, I'm going to write your apology the way they do on SNL for Weekend Update at the end of the year, end of the season, and then you're going to read it to Passan. And I have started to think about the words that I will craft that you will say to Jeff Passan. And let me tell you, you should root against Argentina.
Hey, I will say this. I will say, give me the most awkward apology,
It's coming.
the most, hey, tail between the legs apology I could ever read, if it means getting Jeff Passan on the show again.
He'll come back
prior
on.
to the trade deadline. So I'll be excited to have him back on. Honestly, with the way that Roki, and just a little context out there, it was Jeff Passan who was saying that Roki Sasaki was a big disappointment, and then Roki turned his season around, and then now Roki Sasaki is looking more like the Roki Sasaki that was that disappointment. So on top of that,
it boomeranged down you.
yeah, it absolutely boomeranged on me. So things are getting worse for your boy, but let's go. Whoever is playing Argentina, I guess, just for the sake of me not having
for Mo Salah and Egypt.
Can I get like a separate bet in here with something else?
Well, you're going to read it sight unseen, right? I'm just going to hand you a piece of paper
absolutely.
when Jeff's on.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait.
That's going to be pretty wild, honestly.
Go Argentina!
We'll see if but Argentina has to win it all. And
They
in
do.
and in the final, Messi has scored 2 goals.
He doesn't.
That's what we said.
We didn't.
We didn't say that?
I'm
I
happy
thought
to
that.
I'm happy
I'm
to pull
full.
the tape, and if that's
Okay.
not the case, then you have to do 2
All right,
apologies.
I'm ready. I will. Okay.
DMAC and Ryder, 855-97 LA fan. Speaking of Roki, I know this was a few days ago, but we haven't been on the air. Very worrisome signs from him, and maybe more important, certainly more importantly, an Ohtani injury How serious is it? Back in the lineup yesterday. DMAC breaks it down next on DMAC and Reiter. Back into the show, DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That's calldowntown.com. We did sort of explore this weekend, though. We went to DMAC, Lori and the kids and I went to West Hollywood. Went to I went to Book Soup for the first time. I've never been. Amazing bookstore. Then we went to the Funko Pop store. That place in actual Hollywood. That place is huge.
Yeah, it's big. I used to live right by there.
You did?
Yeah.
That was your neighborhood.
That was my hood.
That was your spot.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering
right
why
up the
people were
street.
like, where's DMAC?
It's a little overwhelming how many they have.
Where is he?
There's like so many of them everywhere. It's like nonstop Funko Pops. I actually have one of myself right there.
There was
The
so
dude with
much.
the black hat.
Oh, I know that cost you now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get you think I got a Funko Pop of myself that I made? Come on, that's a little egotistical. It was a gift.
I don't believe you.
All right, fine. Fair enough.
There's a huge Star Wars exhibit, and I kept looking for Bursch. but he wasn't there. All right, so Dodgers take 3 out of 4 from the Padres. Did lose again yesterday. It feels like they sort of like beat up on the Padres, and then in the last game of the series go, I guess it's we need a little bit of a break. Yamamoto was amazing on Saturday. I mean, there's a lot to kind of get into. What is your level of concern with the Shohei Ohtani injury that was, and then I guess yesterday it wasn't?
Yeah, so the Ohtani injury, of course, anytime you use the word injury and Ohtani in the same sentence, it's going to be a lot of concern. I think in this case, the fact that he did feel it when he was at the plate and not when he's on the mound, I think makes you feel a little less worried about just the long-term impact of what a bicep injury could do for Shohei Ohtani. But I will say that, I mean, the longer this goes, it feels like every other week now we're talking about a different injury for Shohei Ohtani, at least managing a different injury for Shohei Ohtani, whether it be the left knee injury that was causing inflammation, the blister injury, and now a bicep injury. Now, this is something he has dealt with in the past. Early this year, he even experienced it. But look, the dude just turned 32 on July 5th, the day after the 4th of July.
Happy birthday, big guy.
Happy birthday, Big Show. He's getting older. He still looks impossible to pitch to and even hit against at the mound. He's still dominant, but the warning signs have absolutely been there for Shohei Ohtani. And I was talking about it on X, and I had people coming at me, DMAC, who are you to tell Shohei Ohtani not to pitch and not to hit and take some time off? This is what he wants to do. He delivered
Those were smart people. Who were they? Who were these wise people?
I think they were Bill Reiter burner accounts, I believe.
Oh, this is on social media.
Yeah.
The smart ones out there.
Exactly. So the way that I look at it is this, is they kept him out of the lineup the first day after, which I think makes some sense. And then Shohei at the plate is a totally different player, of course, than Shohei the pitcher as far as the types of muscles he's using. But for anyone to say that a guy that's dealing with a bicep injury that's going out there and throwing pitches 100 miles per hour with that same arm and acting like it's not an issue, I think it's absolutely borderline reckless behavior.
By Dave Roberts to play him yesterday? You think Dave Roberts is reckless?
So I think that the Dave Roberts and the powers that be within the Dodgers have to be having some long and hard conversations.
Well, you obviously were painting me as reckless and trying to presume that I am the person who... he played yesterday.
I understand he
played. So who's the reckless person? The person that put him in the lineup, right?
I think you can live with him batting, right? And
Okay.
I'm not against him in the lineup, right?
So I'm not reckless for being happy he was in the lineup.
No, you're not.
You look like you think I was.
I feel like you wanted him to pitch that game. We'll see. But I
Pitch
do
what
think
game?
you just want to go on back-to-back starts and go 100 million pitches per game, okay? I know how you want to use Shohei Ohtani, but I do think that with the start coming up and possibly having another start before the Dodgers go to the All-Star break, now is the ultimate time to give him some extra rest, not have him make that last start. I think that we are getting the warning signs. And the truth is, the waters were calm in the Atlantic before they hit the iceberg, before the Titanic hit the iceberg, right? A lot of people think that, it's Shohei Ohtani, and he's someone that's a superhero that is not going to ever get injured. But the truth of the matter is...
Who thinks he's a superhero that would never get injured?
A lot of people out there.
Nobody thinks that.
Based on my mentions, they are.
Oh, my God. Stop quoting your made-up mentions, your real mentions, or like one of the mentions.
I'm saying I learned this weekend that there is a very borderline culty following that Shohei Ohtani has, where if you try to say anything about what you think could be right for the Dodgers and not just Shohei Ohtani, that you will get a lot of pushback. You will get a lot of backlash. So,
can I suggest that cult may be a group of educated, smart Dodgers fans who believe
you want to see him pitch against the Rockies in July? I mean, Padres in July, they won all that?
Who believe, DMAC, of DMAC and Reiter on 97.1 The Fan, that you are so hell-bent on protecting Ohtani from being injured, which happens in sports, that you'd rather he just play once a week, and that perhaps your ability as the top Dodgers expert that exists, that is, for my money, that you are using your powers, speaking of a superhero, and your brand and your standing and your sort of the way that people, I think, rightfully buy into your opinion to try and push for Ohtani to be treated like some kind of fragile child, some bubble boy, when in fact he's a big league player with major aspirations, and you got to walk a careful line, but let him walk that line. They sat him when there was a worry about this bicep, like they did earlier in the year. It got better like it did earlier in the year. They played him yesterday. He's a grown man. What's the issue?
Go look at bicep tears. They can linger. They can get worse. And just because you're healthy, it's like when you are juggling, it feels like they're juggling chainsaws a little bit with Shohei Ohtani. I truly do believe that at this point. I mean, here's the thing.
What's the chainsaw?
The chainsaw is the injuries.
The chainsaw is him playing baseball.
Yeah, but he's a double Tommy John guy. I mean, what? Here's the thing.
I understand.
And also, too, let me ask you this.
DMAC and Reiter.
So why is he continuing to pitch and hit, right? Obviously, he wants to pursue a Cy Young. We understand that he's made that very clear.
Because he wants to be a pitcher and a hitter.
I understand that.
You're making my point for me, but I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
He wants to be a pitcher and a hitter, right? And we've seen him do it. We know he can do it. He's the unicorn. He's the best baseball player in the history of the world. No one's ever going to debate that. But also, you look at his last 5 starts, a 3.52 ERA over his last 5 starts. So
that's pretty good, dude.
That's pretty good. It's not Cy Young level.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you say the number again?
A 3.52 ERA.
Not a 5.32.
No, a 3.52.
An effective major league pitcher.
Which is very good, which is extremely good, especially when you have the 3rd best OPS in the National League and you are by far your team's best hitter. But that's 5 starts where the point I'm trying to make is not that he's not a good pitcher. The point I'm trying to make is maybe there are some health-related concerns, whether it be the knee, the bicep, the blister, that are leading to a downturn in performance. Because the truth is for him to make this make sense as far as, hey, I'm pursuing the Cy Young and I'm trying to do it at the highest level, you have to consider the performance aspect of it as well. And I think that at this point, it's clear to me what they're doing. And I don't know if you saw this, Jacob Mizorowski's last start. There was a play where the Milwaukee Brewers scorekeeper totally botched a play that they deemed an error that would have led to 4 extra runs on Mizorowski's ledger. And that is interesting because it made me think of, wait a second, if he gives up 4 runs there and then Shohei Ohtani starts to feel a little better about a Cy Young, is that something they strongly consider? So I think that the ramp up is there, but what they need to do, this is the solution for me with Shohei Ohtani. Want to let him pitch? Let him pitch. But have him pitch once a week like he's doing now in a 6-man rotation. Cap it at 5 innings, 6 innings at the most. Don't let him get close to the 110 pitches that he was throwing in his last start. And then 2, you have the roster to combine a start where it's Shohei Ohtani, and then when Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow get healthy, you can piggyback start a Shohei Ohtani with a Justin Robleski or a Shohei Ohtani and a potentially a Roki Sasaki. But the days of Shohei going 7, 8 innings, trying to go as deep as he possibly can, this is reckless behavior.
He's not going 7 or 8 innings.
It's 110 pitches.
We've given up on, I'm talking about me. I've given up on the Cy Young Award. Well, I'm not sure if I've given up. Let me say this, though. Every point you made is great here on DMAC and Reiter. Here, I think, is the disconnect between you and I on this topic. And frankly, the disconnect between you and Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani... Oh, you didn't like that. We should show him. You did not like that. It is a disconnect between the two of you. If you're watching at the Fan LA, you can see our facial expressions on the stream on YouTube. Shohei Ohtani has never made a secret prior to being a Dodger, when nobody thought he could do it, and now that he's a Dodger, when everyone thinks he can do it except for those Dodgers folks out there who want to protect the Dodgers over Shohei. Shohei Ohtani has never made a secret, Doug, of the fact that he expects to pitch and to hit. Not wants to pitch and hit, not hopes to pitch and hit, not really, golly shucks, I hope I can pitch and hit. It's a requirement for him as a Major League Baseball player. And that does not mean he's going to pitch every 7 weeks. It does not mean that every time he has one of the normal niggles or pains that come with playing Major League Baseball that we shut him down and put him behind glass for a month. It means that you will have to accept, and Dave Roberts will have to accept, and understandably cautious Dodgers fans like yourself will have to accept, and I will embrace, that when he feels healthy, he will pitch. And when he feels healthy, he will hit. And the fact that he's in a 6-man rotation probably stretches the bounds of what he actually wants to do, but he leans into it because it's best for him. And maybe as importantly, it's best for the Dodgers. But every time we have this talk, and I respect where you're coming from, you're seeing this as what's best for the Dodgers, and that's fair. Shohei Ohtani has made it clear that the price of having him on your baseball team, which is why he was an Angel, and now that he's a Dodger, they're going to have to play ball too, is he will hit and he will pitch when he is relatively healthy, as much as anyone's healthy in the baseball season. And I think the sooner people accept that, the sooner they can stop banging their head against the wall and howling at the moon when he's out there, because he's going to be out there, dude.
And I hear you, but the biggest mistake I think championship teams can make is acting like tomorrow is guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed in sports for sure, but there's also a level of management that you can have when it comes to Shohei Ohtani that I think puts you in the best position to make sure he's available and that he has a lot left in the tank in October. And I want to get back to something you did say, which I found extremely interesting, right? It's kind of this thing with Shohei Ohtani where, hey, I signed here, I'm a two-way player. What Shohei says goes, right? And you have to respect that about him, right? I'm not saying you said that, but the whole idea.
It's not what he says goes. It's what was the understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it is what he says goes.
And I think and look, and here's the thing. I'm all for superstars get superstar treatment. And if Shohei Ohtani came to me and said, hey, if I sign here, you do what I say. If I want to pitch and hit, then so be it. If I say jump, you say
He's
how high.
He's not saying it that way.
I'm not saying he is. But if he did.
You kind of are trying to
But the point is, I'm trying to say, if he did, I'd say, where do we sign up?
Got it.
Because give me a Shohei Ohtani with demands versus no Shohei Ohtani at all, and I want the Shohei Ohtani they want us to be. But I will go back till last May when Shohei Ohtani was throwing full bullpen sessions at spring training, and he could have started his year in the month of May last year. The Dodgers came to Shohei Ohtani, and they said to him, hey, maybe this is not the best course of action. How about we let you start the season as a hitter, and then we are going to ramp you up one inning at a time. And what Shohei Ohtani said to them was, hey, instead of throwing all these live BPs, instead of all these side throwing sessions, instead of going to the minor league level, which I'm not going to do because I'm hitting at the big league level, why don't we rehab in real games against big leaguers, right? Let's save those bullets for big league action. And Shohei was responsive to the Dodgers' plan after he had a different plan originally last May. So my point is this, is if you go to Shohei Ohtani right now and say, hey, we understand. You came to us. You want to make every single start. You want to be the first Japanese pitcher to win a Cy Young. We respect that, but the big picture here is the three-peat. Nothing is more important than the name on the front of the jersey, as important as the name is on the back in Shohei Ohtani, and I think Shohei would be receptive to that.
I don't think he would
really, truly do.
I think this is the equivalent of telling your star player, we know that you want to be out there, but the team comes first, so we're going to play you in half the games in center field so you don't get hurt. And the guy would go, dude, I'm a big leaguer. That's part of the risk. Like, no. You are our most important player, but we're only going to play you on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. So just get used to riding that bench. By the way, this is a guy, I know we got to take a break here, but this is a guy, we have phone calls. We will get to those. Stay on the line if you're there, if you want to join the conversation. 855-97-LA fan here on DMAC and Reiter. This guy, I think, walks that line between what is best for the team and what is his desire pretty well. Remember, World Baseball Classic, clearly important to him. Struck out Trout in that incredible moment in 23. He didn't pitch in this past WBC. I mean, didn't he? Like, that's a sacrifice of a kind. That's an understanding of his limitations of a kind. All right, let's keep this going. We're going to keep, I guess, talking about the right way to use Ohtani. We'll take your phone calls at 855-97-LA fan next year on DMAC and Reiter. End of the show, DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. 3 days was too long not to hang out with you, pal.
Way too long, man. I was devastated on Friday.
You make me laugh. All right, let's go to the phone line again. 855-97 LA Fan. Noah in Ladera Ranch. Thanks for hanging. We appreciate you. You're on DMAC and Reiter.
Cool. Well, I'll give you my thoughts on Shohei Ohtani.
All right, dude.
So, going back to Shohei Ohtani, so I personally believe that he has to stay healthy. He should not be chasing the Cy Young right now because we still have 7 years of Ohtani. That's 7 years of opportunity for Ohtani to win the Cy Young Award. Unfortunately, though, we only have a few years of this World Series window, and we have to prioritize that. Plus, in the future, I think it'd be more beneficial if he focused on the Cy Young when our offense isn't as effective and when we need a Cy Young performance. The Padres series proved that we don't need an ace to get us through a series because we have the offense. We don't need Cy Young Shohei Ohtani. We just need Ohtani to be serviceable and give us a quality start every time to keep us in the game.
Brother, appreciate the phone call. Thank you for listening. Look, I do think that one thing the Padres series proved, the Padres just aren't very good. I mean, the Padres are bad, by the way, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, they're a bad
They're a
team.
mess.
They really are. They're an organization that made multiple mistakes over the weekend. I will say this. Can I say something?
Yeah.
The Dodgers-Padres rivalry is dead. It's over. There's no rivalry. Anyone wants to say a rivalry, it's not, because that rivalry was conditional to them being a good and relevant team. It was a rivalry that was conditional on their best players, Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., being threats to guys like Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and things like that. No, it is SD equals season done. The Padres will not be making the postseason. They're not going to be competing with the Dodgers in the National League West. And for all those Padres fans out there that make it their identity and their personality trait to hate on the big bad Dodgers and say, oh, we're going to beat them this year, guess what? It's not a rivalry. There is no rivalry. It's only a rivalry if you're relevant. They're irrelevant. So right now, the Padres-Dodgers rivalry is dead.
Co-signed. And on the Ohtani thing, I will just say, Ohtani is probably not winning a Cy Young Award if he doesn't win it in this season or the next season or two. But his Kalshi odds, and I know Kalshi moves really quickly because it's predicated largely on how the market moves on that site, is 4%. His Vegas odds aren't quite that bad, but they're close. He's probably not winning a Cy Young Award. That, I think, Noah, might be a slightly different conversation than the one we're having now, which is, and I'm not sure we're saying totally the opposite thing. You want him to pitch if he's healthy Wednesday, right? You want him to pitch twice before the All-Star game, but maybe I'm coming around to limited fashion. I'm coming around to you don't need to chase the qualifications innings pitch requirement any longer. If he sneaks back into it, Doug, I'll probably change my mind.
Oh, hey, let me open this door for you, okay?
Okay.
Bill, hop in.
Get in.
All right, I'm driving. You ride passenger side just so you're on the bandwagon, right?
What
Where it's
bandwagon?
The bandwagon to
You want him to
not be
sit.
reckless with Shohei Ohtani. I don't want him to sit. I want him to pitch less innings and throw less pitches. And to your point, Jacob Mizorowski and Christopher Sanchez, they're way out in front in the National League when it comes to basically every single category, but it's the innings pitched that'll be very difficult for Shohei Ohtani to catch up to. And there are examples, right? I mean, even the year where it was Roger Clemens or Mark Pryor, guys like that, where you had big relievers win. I mean, the Eric Gagne year, right? The innings is not the end-all, be-all when it comes to who will win a Cy Young Award. But I think for Shohei Ohtani's case, it really ultimately boils down with the fact that for that ERA to carry weight as the ultimate trump card in a potential Cy Young, that's when you need to qualify. Right now, it's 85 2/3 innings, so he does not qualify right now. He does have a very impressive 1.79 ERA, which isn't as low as Jacob Mizorowski's 1.47 ERA. But let me tell you what I think is going on right now with Shohei Ohtani. And I think that what this is can we get to the All-Star break, keep that ERA at sub-2, maybe get to over 90 innings, 92, 93 innings, and I think that he wants to stand pat if something happens to Jacob Mizorowski or Christopher Sanchez, and I'm not trying to will or manifest an injury, I'm trying to talk about
good shell, dude. I'm with you.
like some slump, right? I mean,
happens.
I just mentioned there literally was there's a Milwaukee Brewers scorekeeper that's fraudulent. There's absolutely fraudulent for calling an error on a play that really should have led to a hit, which would have led to 4 runs on Mizorowski, and if another 4 runs on a ZRA, it was going to put him right in Shohei Ohtani's territory. So I will say this. I know I have been Marlin from Finding Nemo, right? I'm very protective. I'm the Tiger parent. Bill Reiter has said this and painted this to me for the entire year. But he is close enough, Bill. He is close enough to where if he doesn't want to wave the white flag, then so be it. But if it does leak into August and September, and let's say worst case scenario, right? Something happens to Shohei Ohtani. No one's going to say to themselves, wow, well, at least we got that awesome start against the Padres in July, right? So I do think that the Dodgers have enough of a sample to prove to him, hey, you wanted to start, we'll let you start. But it's about the three-peat. It's about championships. Like I said, it is like you are juggling a match in a fireworks factory, right? Nothing happens until everything happens. And
what does that mean?
That means that
nothing happens until everything happens. I'm not sure what you're saying.
That means when you go out there, you're pitch for pitch for pitch, and it's fine, and then
no one gets hurt until they're injured. That's true.
Yeah, but
don't pitch them.
But what do you mean
a match in a match in
a fireworks factory?
It's a great expression, but why is it playing baseball for a living to fireworks?
When you've had 2 Tommy Johns, when you're playing every single day, your risk of injury is higher.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is,
do you want him to pitch? Do you want him to pitch?
I'm saying I want them to reduce his workload. I'm not going to go as dramatic as saying you got to make the guy a one-way player. But the thing is, 110 pitches was too many pitches.
Sounds like you're juggling a match 100 yards from a fireworks display, not in a factory. I mean, you're making it sound like his arm is about to fall off.
I'm trying to say that he's dealt with multiple injuries this season.
Aware of
he's
that.
had 2 Tommy Johns, and if
multiple injuries, hold on. Okay, yes, but right now we trust him.
What is the definition of multiple injuries, Bill?
Is sitting out one game an injury?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Is it injury? Is an injury?
I don't know.
He's very tough. He'll play through things. And here's another factor too: the Dodgers are 14 games up on the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres in the division. You have a cushion.
How come you're never
in your division?
Look, you and I just DMAC and Reiter 97.1 The Fan. We're just not aligned. And you just said it. You're a helicopter parent. You see him being fairly cautious with his bicep and then playing again, and you think he's juggling matches in a fireworks factory. I see a Major League Baseball player who's a veteran and probably the best player of all time, understanding how to manage his body. You cannot go risk-free with your kids in the world, and you cannot go risk-free with a guy that plays Major League Baseball. The solution in both cases is never
risk.
Is never to lock them in their bedroom.
Oh, I agree.
It's not, dude.
But I'm not saying that. If I was saying that, I would say, dude, let's pull the glove out of
your bait. I think you are. I mean, you're close to it. Can I read you something?
Yeah.
You can get mad at this person.
Okay.
Instead of me. BL Boyd on at the Fan LA on the YouTube stream. No, Show has largely been AWOL at the plate all season long. He has been horrific with runners in scoring position and has largely empty numbers. Pitch him until he's done, and we can finally move him back to full-time hitting. We both disagree with that guy, right? By the way, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I really appreciate that. But
hell no.
Absolutely not.
Two-way player.
He's a two-way player. He's a unicorn. That's what makes him better than Aaron Judge, better than Barry Bonds. That's what is going to make him go down in history as the greatest baseball player in the history of the game. But here's the thing. The Dodgers, they're not playing with fire because he's pitching. They're playing with fire if they're ignoring the smoke. And I think right now the difference between confidence and recklessness is usually obvious only after something catches on fire. I just don't want this season to catch on fire. I don't want the three-peat to catch on fire. And I think we've had enough injuries in rapid succession here in the last couple of weeks before the All-Star break to know that Shohei could throttle down just a bit. It would help the team's goals.
Here's a great comment from Showtime LA. He's fine, Doug. Listen to Bill Moore. Can we get a cheer? He's fine, Doug. Listen to Bill. I knew there was one out there. Showtime LA.
He probably is fine. He probably is fine. He probably is.
By the way, okay, you know what? We only have 40 seconds, so I can't get into this argument. But I'm not going to change my opinion, and you're not going to change yours. He's a major leaguer who plays both ways. That's what he does, and part of that's going to be doing it.
So you would be okay with him throwing 110 pitches every start?
I know. Would you be okay with him playing every 3 weeks? Should we keep misrepresenting each other's perspective?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, like 6 or 7 innings. I mean, that,
You want him to play like once a month? Is that what you're saying?
I want him to
Why are
pitch
you
once
saying
a week,
that?
5
You
or
got
6
20
innings
seconds.
tops.
Doug McCain saying Shohei Ohtani should be retired.
That's
So they
definitely
can win a
not
three-peat.
what I'm saying.
I know. DMAC and Reiter 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports, and those voices sometimes diverge, like DMAX and mine do on Shohei Ohtani. Where I think we're united is it feels kind of like good riddance LeBron. We will get into why waiting on him is a sign of that next here on DMAC and Reiter. Los Angeles. He's Doug McCain. I'm Bill Reiter. This is DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That is injury help to 40222. Thank you for listening on the FM. You can also stream the show live or after the fact over on YouTube at The Fan LA. That's at The Fan LA. We're going to preview Dodgers, Rockies later. We're going to preview the U.S. men's national team before that game happens around 5 o'clock. We'll get into a athletic story by Dan Wojcicki, walking people through the Dodgers post-LeBron plan. And I'll give you, I'm not sure how well this will go over with the Athletic and with Dan, but I'll give you maybe my reading of who influenced that report. There's some things in there that are interesting. Can I give you, DMAC, a theory or just a thought on LeBron as someone who's covered him for a long time?
Hit me.
I was having some LeBron nostalgia over the weekend. I was thinking about my time covering the guy and just some of the better times and worst times in my experience. And we went through some of those on the list last week where we did our top 5 and worst 5. Here's the thing for me. And this is where I guess people say that I hate LeBron, and I don't, but I understand where they view it that way. When LeBron is great, in person, I mean, when you sort of see his excellence, or on the court, he is mesmerizing and amazing and world-class. I mean that in a basketball sense, when he takes over finals or various series or games or moments, and I mean it off the court. LeBron's I Promise nonprofit in Akron, Ohio, is a life changer for people. His love for his hometown of Akron is really cool. And when LeBron is the worst, or is off-putting, or is frustrating, or does things that are self-indulgent, it's really hard to root for the guy in that moment. And his need to drag out his free agency situation right now, the cattle call of would-be suitors, where his agent is out there constantly saying, we'll listen to every team. His need to make it about himself. It struck me, and you and I have hit this a little bit. If LeBron James cannot go through a free agency where he probably has a good sense of where he's going to go, and a report today backs that up. Brian Winters today said that everyone he's talked to believes that LeBron's people have already made up their mind that it's Cleveland. If LeBron can't go a couple days into free agency without making free agency about him for the entirety of free agency, if he can't go a week or two without making it the LeBron James show when it's unnecessary, how is he ever going to make an 82-game season about anything other than him when the goal was to make it about Luka Dončić?
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And I think that's just the feeling I get every single day that passes. He's trying to drum up a lot of interest and trying to be the storyline once more in his career. And people keep saying LeBron left the Lakers. I think the Lakers left the LeBron era, right? I think that's the truth of it all. There's just a difference, right? To me, it feels like LeBron is trying to play the PR game, as you point out and broken down so many times on this show. And I think that when you break down the way you do the insight that you have, knowing just kind of how the chess pieces on the board are maneuvered with LeBron, I think it makes a lot of sense how things transpired at this point. I mean, it feels like to me, it's kind of like one of those companies that's trying to replace the CEO with a younger CEO, and the CEO didn't quit. It was just the boardroom that decided he was gone, right? The Lakers boardroom decided that it was time for LeBron to leave, and they said, okay, we'll give you the luxury of kind of helping yourself control this because you want to have a different viewpoint of how things transpired because you're LeBron James and everything that you did for this franchise. Look, the average marriage in California lasts 8 years, right? He lasted 8 years with the Lakers. That's just a pretty amicable, both sides kind of feel like, hey, we benefited from it, but both sides, I think the Lakers mainly, had they pitched LeBron aggressively, if Luka was aggressively trying to keep him on this team, I think it would be a Lakers still. I really do. But I think the Lakers, they want to go in a different direction.
Have you ever heard the expression or the idea, DMAC and Reiter here, 97.1 The Fan, he's Doug McCain, I'm Bill Reiter, belated happy 4th, and thank you for hanging out with us here on the show, that converts make the most, are the biggest zealots, whether it's religion or something else. I'm going to give a perspective that maybe nobody else on this station can, because I think all of you are from Los Angeles other than me, right? Every one of the 6 of us, I think, is from L.A. originally but me. So I'm a convert to Los Angeles. And I've got buddies who were born and raised here. When people come into L.A. and they stay here and they're here for a minute and they leave, they're like, I don't really care. and I have a very famous person, and I don't care, I'm going to call him out. He's in London. He's not going to hear. I used to get pissed off at Andy Roddick because Andy and I moved here at the same time, and Andy moved into Cheviot Hills and didn't like it. And I used to tell him, you're doing it wrong. And one of the things that really pisses me off as a convert to LA, as somebody who didn't step foot here until I was in my 20s, didn't move here until I was in my 30s, and then it was love at first sight. And I'm not kidding. The moment I was at LAX and I was landing and I looked to my left, it's the first time I ever came, and it turned out I was looking at Manhattan Beach where I ended up living and can't afford. I have to leave there, but it's a really cool place. I fell in love with this city. Nothing pisses me off more as someone who discovered Los Angeles late in life and loves it, than people who move here from other parts of the country. Because I know what you're leaving. Look, this isn't a shot at New York or Iowa or Miami or Ohio, the places I've lived. There's no place like LA. And when someone comes here and talks about how it sucks and how it's dirty and how they don't want to live here and it's not great, they don't understand the gift this place is. And they haven't put the work in. LA, and we've discussed this, isn't like New York. You got to work for it. You got to put in the time and the effort. I think that's exactly analogous to LeBron with the Lakers. If I'm the Lakers, this guy comes here for 8 seasons. He pretends to be about the purple and gold. He talks about and I'm talking before Kobe passed away, he talks about the legacy of Kobe Bryant. He talks about the Bus family and everything they mean to this city. He purports to have found religion, true love with the Lakers. If you move to LA and you become someone who's suddenly from here, because this place will take you in if you love it. If you become a Laker, you don't leave it. You don't disrespect it. You don't wake up one day and go, this place sucks. Either you get it or you don't get it. And that's true, I think, to be in Los Angeles, and that's true for the very rare people who are lucky enough to ever be a Laker. And most people that get to be Lakers on the Lakers' terms. They're the freaking Lakers. Very few people, Kobe, Shaq who screwed it up, Magic, Kareem, LeBron, are so remarkable and so incredible and so unworldly in their greatness, they can be a Laker forever. And the Lakers have shown that if you want to be a Laker forever, even when you've kind of gone past your expiration date, see Kobe's last 2 years, they'll embrace you. So I think the thing that hit me this weekend is that LeBron was always faking his love to be a Laker and never actually got Los Angeles. Because if you got it, if he understood it, if he put his arms around it, if he truly loved being a Laker, he'd still be a Laker. Did they court him the way he wanted to be courted? No. Did they treat a guy who named himself King James like royalty? No, they didn't. They told him it's going to be about Luka Dončić, but we want you to be here and you'll have to take a pay cut. So I think the thing that actually pisses me off about this entire saga is the fact that LeBron doesn't understand what he had. And it reminds me, sorry, Andy Roddick, of people who have moved here, not understood Los Angeles, and leave before they ever actually tap into the magic.
It's a fantastic way to look at that. I mean, the expiration date thing I think is so applicable to LeBron just because that's how it feels wherever he's been, whether it be Cleveland the first time, going to Miami, back to Cleveland, going to the Lakers, and now wherever he ends up, it is something where it doesn't feel like there's going to be the Hollywood ending that he always wanted. I think if you're LeBron, he thought the Lakers had given him the keys of the franchise, but it was more like an Airbnb, right? It was like, you're going to be here temporary, bro, because there's going to be someone after you. We're going to get the next star. We're going to get Luka Dončić. After Luka Dončić, we're going to get the next star too, because that's the way it works here in Los Angeles. We are going to find any way to get stars, whether it's trade for them, whether it's sign them, but the Lakers were already the best and most marquee franchise with the most history in the league before LeBron James. They're going to be fine after. I think that it's clear at this point that if LeBron James was courted in a head-over-heels style like he'd been used to his entire career, then maybe they could have worked some things out. But as you point out, if you wanted to have this Hollywood ending or whatever it was in Los Angeles, he was going to have to concede some things. And I don't think that he really genuinely wanted to do that. And also, too, I don't think he believed in the vision of Rob Pelinka, maybe even Austin Reeves as a number 2, Luka Dončić. And I just don't think he probably thought this was going to be a championship team where he would get enough of the limelight.
I think that's the point, right? Because LeBron's really smart at basketball. I don't think, to your point, DMAC, I don't think LeBron believes in any vision that's not based on LeBron. And that's not even a put down. Maybe it is a put down. I just think it's reality. Do you think the Lakers could have constructed a basketball team that put LeBron third that LeBron would buy into?
Personally, I don't. Absolutely not.
I don't either.
No way in any way would he subscribe to that. Like, he is going to think that he is going to be the son to the Lakers universe, even if he knows in his heart of heart that Luka Dončić is a better player, a younger player, a guy that still has his best years ahead of him. That's LeBron James. I think part of the reason why he has become inarguably one of the greatest ever and arguably the greatest ever is because of that. But I still think that from the Lakers' point of view, they should be pretty aggressive in pointing out that they weren't left at the altar, right? I think the Lakers in due time will have some pride knowing that, hey, we did not bend the knee to LeBron James, to the king again, right? We did not do that. I think that that's pretty freeing for this organization moving forward, and I think that we're going to see that in due time.
We've had this conversation. I know I'm being a little repetitive here on DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1, The Fan, the voice of LA sports, but it bears repeating as we get into this Ramona Shelburne nugget report that's out there. My insight, my perspective is that you have to take everything LeBron says or that comes out of his camp or news around him with a lot of, you have to be incredulous in a major way. A big pinch of salt, more than a grain of salt, because he has such a sophisticated operation and because that operation is instructed to protect LeBron's ego as much as his image. So this Ramona Shelburne report, I'm not even sure I believe Ramona was told that. I'm not in any way disparaging her reporting. Ramona Shelburne is a friend and an outstanding reporter. I'm just saying sometimes you get information from people that you have to report, but those people are full of crap. Ramona reported, I think today, maybe yesterday, that LeBron, quote, wasn't available, end quote, when the Lakers called about a week before free agency began to tell Rich Paul they wanted to set something up. Now, the Lakers have already tried, LeBron's people have already tried to spin this, I think through Wiki, that it wasn't an in-person meeting, pointing out LeBron was out of the country for a lot of these stretches and has to be in LA for an in-person meeting. But all right, all the semantics and politics aside, the idea that LeBron wouldn't make himself available to the Lakers, even on a call, and that he would basically have Rich Paul announce that he's not coming back to Rob Pelinka while Rich Paul is at Wimbledon going into some shop or something or other is the equivalent of breaking up with your girlfriend after 8 years by your buddy sending a text message. And so LeBron's a grown man. He can do what he wants. And frankly, dude, depending where he goes, I might root for him. As weird as that sounds, if he goes to Cleveland, my wife's from Ohio, okay, like you go home. I like that organization. I really like Kobe Altman, who's the GM. I feel bad for that fan base. Go for it. And I like the people in Miami. I might even be able to root for them a little bit. But the notion that LeBron was disrespected while he continues to disrespect the Lakers and refuse to meet with them, I know a lot of you are sick of LeBron. Here's my point. I think they dodged a bullet. I know he would have made them better, and taking the minimum or taking some amount of money that it's close to it to play for this Lakers team on paper makes them a better basketball team. But I said this when we first started doing the show together, DMAC and Reiter on 97.1 The Fan. LeBron is such a distraction in a locker room. He's so frustrating behind the scenes. He commands so much attention. He sucks so much of the oxygen out of the room that he causes problems. But a lot of times no one sees that or believes it because you can measure points and rebounds and assists per game. You can't measure dysfunction and chemistry when you're not seeing it. LeBron didn't just spare the Lakers that. He showed every single Lakers fan, who understandably many of you wanted LeBron here, what he's about and what he's like when he doesn't get his way. And so I think LeBron telling on himself publicly over the last week and a half is the best. I'm not sure it'll work for Luka and the Lakers, but it's the best thing that could have happened to maximize Luka's chances of success as it relates to LeBron being around or not being around.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's 100% just because of the way that things have continued to surface, whether it be Rich Paul, whether it be insiders. And I think that for LeBron, he wanted one more Hollywood ending, but the Lakers were like, we already saw that movie. We know how that's going to go. We saw a sample of it this past season. We know that when LeBron is right, he's still a very, very good player. He's still a arguably elite player, but I disagree with the rooting thing. I'm going to root against LeBron wherever he goes.
Are you really?
I'm going to root hard against LeBron because I think LeBron should have done a solid to the Lakers, and the Lakers did a lot of solids for him, whether it be drafting his son who was unqualified, whether it be allowing Rich Paul to seize control along with LeBron as far as the roster construction in this organization. And whether it's be using the Lakers brand. I mean, the Lakers are the first brand that LeBron went to where the team was inarguably bigger than his brand, right? LeBron's a bigger brand than Cleveland. LeBron, bigger brand internationally than the Heat were. He used and benefited off the Lakers brand. And LeBron James in a perfect basketball world would be taking a lot less money to be the Lakers power forward right now. giving them 26-7 because he still can put up numbers. So I still think that what LeBron's going to do when he signs with a minimum with Cleveland or whoever that may be is still looking back and to be a slap in the face to the Lakers organization that gave him a lot of perks, that did him a lot of favors. Yes, he delivered on a championship. He got them Anthony Davis and Luka Dončić, but I still am going to be rooting against LeBron James. And I know it sounds like a hater, right? I know I sound like a hater, and I'm fine with that, but I still think that the best fit for LeBron, I think he's going to regret that the best fit for him could have been remaining with the Lakers on a cheaper deal in a different role.
So, DMAC and Reiter 97.1 The Fan. I respect where you're coming from, and the reality is that when it comes to things that I think I'm net neutral on, I don't know what or who I'm rooting for until it just sort of is on television, and I'm like, oh, that's how my heart feels. We'll see on LeBron. I will say this, and this is going to sound callous and cutthroat and mean-spirited. It's none of those things. The Los Angeles Lakers should price gouge the hell of whatever team signs LeBron James when they inevitably send Bronny James. And before somebody says LeBron's son deserves to play with his dad and you can't get in the way of family and how dare you take advantage of that relationship, LeBron set this standard. He forced the Lakers to draft him. He's the reason they gave him guaranteed money that no other second rounder would have, or in this case should have gotten. LeBron is the reason that they guaranteed that maximum amount of money, $2.3 million-ish, and then the next day announced he was leaving. When LeBron goes to Cleveland or Miami or Golden State or somewhere else, he is going to demand that organization get Bronny and isn't going to care what they have to give away to do that. If I'm the Lakers, I am in effect holding the princeling hostage for a king's ransom because that's what a king would require to get his son back. I am not in any way trading him for fair value. I'm trading him for the value LeBron puts on him. And if I'm the Lakers, I feel no compunction about that whatsoever because LeBron set these rules and now the Lakers get to play by them.
Exactly, man. I love that because I think that's another way the Lakers flex on this is you say to yourself, hey, the Lakers, if you're the purple and gold right now, you need to be quietly raising the price of whatever they're going to be getting back from Bronny James in this situation. If it's the Cleveland Cavaliers, you're not trading for a player, you're trading for parental rights, right? It's not about his stats, it's about his DNA, right? It's about, hey, it's like when you marry a girl just to get their mansion, right? I mean, this is what the Lakers need to view this as is, hey, LeBron James, if you want him to play for your franchise and the closer cost is giving up Bronny James, yeah, that's a way to give up some picks, man. I mean, we had the Rui Hachimura move that was made earlier today, and there were some talks that maybe the Lakers were trying to execute a sign-in trade with the Clippers. Clippers just wanted to give up money. The Lakers are after some picks. So whatever you can get for Bronny James, 100% try to up that price, try to create that bidding war, especially if the team on the other side kind of shows their cards and says to themselves, hey, Bronny James comes with LeBron James. That's the package deal that you're looking at. So I love that.
DMAC and Reiter here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports, talking some hoops, some Lakers, some basketball. Basketball coverage on the new 97.1 The Fan is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. Yeah, the Rui thing's interesting because, and we're going to get into a sort of a deeper dive in about 10 minutes on how the Lakers are building this team around Luka Dončić and the risks involved and the upside involved. Rui's 28, so the age card doesn't apply. There are credible reports out there from people that cover the team daily that Rui Hachimura was on the Luka Dončić approved list, so that doesn't make sense that he wouldn't be back. He was Rui extraordinary, especially in the playoffs, but really good last year. It is a bit of a strange decision, and as best I can understand it, DMAC, on why he's gone, it just sounds like they preferred Mamu to Rui in the long term. They thought he was a better fit.
That absolutely is what they did in this situation. I mean, we talked about it on our last episode on Thursday that Rui's shooting is incredible, especially in the playoffs. He's had a lot of success there as a sharpshooter, as a guy you can trust to fill it up at a high percentage, but you like Mamu's versatility. He's just a more dynamic player on paper potentially, and this is a decision that the Lakers are going to have to live with because Rui clearly wanted to stay in L.A., and at that price, $28 million, and I think it was a team option, which is kind of crazy, I believe, towards the back end of that potentially. Hey, yeah, that's not what the Lakers do, right? We got Rob Pelinka getting out player options. But if you're the Lakers, I think that this ties to LeBron in the sense that guys that may have been back or ones that you strongly thought had a chance of being back, the Lakers are saying, hey, we're not going to get the band back together. We are going to switch it up. This could also turn out as if this does not work out and this team does struggle this year and potentially the year after that, when Luka Dončić can opt out of his contract, that this is Rob Pelinka saying goodbye with a bang, right? You let Kennard go. You didn't bring back Marcus Smart. These are the players you're tied to. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, a lot of people are going to point to those players that probably want to be Lakers at the right price that you were not able to lure in and recruit and attach to Luka Dončić.
It really, I mean, look, I don't think Rob Pelinka's very good at his job, but I could also be wrong. I was wrong about Ty Lue. I thought Ty Lue was just a guy who did maneuver his way to take over the head coaching job with LeBron's approval in Cleveland, and then when he was no longer coaching LeBron, he was great. So maybe Pelinka will prove me wrong. I will say this, though, to credit Pelinka. The guy's got stones. I mean, he did go, and it doesn't mean he's using them properly or his brain properly, but he did go all in. I'd also like to know, and again, we'll get the reporting at some point, to what degree do we think Pelinka made these moves? To what degree do we think the brain trust of Pelinka and some of the Dodgers heavyweights made these decisions?
I think for me, just on a snapshot, I would say more than I would have believed a couple weeks ago, just because I think Rob's natural instinct would want to bring back guys that he already acquired via trade, guys that he already showed that, hey, these are the ingredients that we feel confident around Luka Dončić. The fact that you are acquiring names and players for positions of need that are external, ones that weren't linked to the Lakers previously, to me, it means there's some fresh minds in there. And if you want to talk Dodgers, the quickest Dodger-fying I can think of is a guy like Rui Hachimura, great shooter. That's about all he was great at. Wasn't your typical 3-and-D guy. He wasn't a great rebounder. He's someone that now with Mamu, you kind of question the role, and that's kind of what we were saying initially. Well, if you want to be the Dodgers, you have to be great at developing. And if they go out there and get a guy like Kuminga, that is a high upside guy that is very Dodger-like, where had some raw talents, had athleticism, had some tools, didn't work out for other teams, but in our building, we think we get the most of it. So the next stage to the Dodgerification of the Lakers is going to be optimizing guys that they're able to get at a lesser rate, and because of your development, you take it to the next level.
I will say this before we get into the Luka Dončić thing here on DMAC and Reiter. I've covered Summer League a lot, and there's two things I know about Summer League. Vegas is the worst place on earth in the summertime if you're not in a casino, and you cannot take seriously anything you see in Summer League. I don't know if you remember this. Victor Wembanyama, I covered it, in his first Summer League had a bad quarter, and people were literally tweeting, oh my God, he's overrated. So I know that I'm falling for the okie dokie when I say Cam Carr looks so good. He looks so good. And I was thinking about our conversation, DMAC, with Scott Drew, his coach at Baylor. And I'm in. I'm in on Cam Carr, 15-time All-Star. I have totally gotten swept up in Cam Carr madness, but he does look really, really good. All right, the new 97.1, The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Call us 855-97 LA Fan. Let's move on from this LeBron guy. LeBron LaHoo. Let's get into Luka Dončić and the plan around him and a report out there that walks you through it. We'll catch you up. How the Lakers are building around Dončić and whether it will work next here on DMAC and Reiter. Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That's calldowntown.com. Want to be in the building when LA decides it's champion? 310 Originals and 97.1 The Fan is giving you tickets to the City Championship Celebrity Challenge, Deshaun Jackson versus Keyshawn Nixon, July 11th in Harbor City. Paul Pierce, YG, Matt Barnes, Jordan Love, and more with Marathon Burger. $40 gets you in, or listen to win. This is LA's game. In fact, if you're listening right now to win, it's perfect timing because we're going to give away some tickets at 855-97-LA-FAN. 2 tickets to the City Championship Celebrity Challenge. What caller number, DMAC, would you like to? Should we do 4th of the July 4th?
Is it the 4th? I love that.
The 4th?
Quattro.
Let's get it.
4.
Caller 4 right now. Win these tickets. 855-97-LA-FAN. I've never asked you this. Are you an ocean guy? Are you a go in the water guy?
I like me some ocean.
Yeah?
I have a lot of friends that surf and do water sports. I usually stay up on the beach and listen to the radio, though. I mean, I like playing. I would say probably on a scale of 1 to 10, probably like a 4.
I live closest to the water. I live in a beach community. I haven't been in the ocean in a year. I got to get in there.
Really?
I'm taking it for granted.
I sunburn really easily.
You do?
I really do. It's kind of wild. Turn into like a crab like in 5 seconds.
I am a little scared of sharks, but I love stand-up paddling out in the water.
Oh, that's good
But
times.
there's sharks out there.
That's good
I
times.
see them out there. Let's do this. 855-97-LA-FAN. Give us a call if you want to hang out. Let's go to Tony in LA. Tony, thank you for listening. You're on DMAC and Reiter, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask your opinion on the situation with Dalton Neck. I never really understood that because when he first came to the Lakers, I thought he was really talented and had a lot of potential. Because at the time, they really needed, well, they still do, 3-point shooters. So, then that botched trade situation and where the guy they traded for didn't pass the physical, and I think that messed up his head. So, what is your take on that?
Yeah, Tony, thanks for the call. I think that I think he hit the nail on the head, Tony. You did when you talked about the botched trade. That dude went from being somebody that walked around, the little I was around the team, with some confidence to just looking dejected and put out. And you can't let the world being doubting you or something going the wrong way make you give up on whatever it is you're pursuing. But it feels like that was a turning point in this dude having even a chance to make it with the Lakers. He hasn't been the same player since.
I agree. I mean, every time they cut him, he looks dejected. He looks like he's not enthusiastic about being a Laker. And for a player like him, you need reps. You cannot be buried in J.J. Redick's rotation. And last season, he just didn't really get the opportunities to really develop into that player. Averages 10.2 minutes per game in his second season in 54 games after averaging 19.2 minutes per game in 78 games. Actually made 16 starts his rookie season. So the potential certainly looked like it was there to be a guy that can give you 4 or 5 3-point attempts per game, get close to 40% ideally. But yeah, I just think that ship has sailed with Dalton Connect, and it, for whatever reason, just feel like he's not prioritized for this Lakers organization. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was still dealt this offseason at some point.
It was a weird deal, and I'm not drawing a conclusion to this, but I was at his introductory press conference, and they shared it with him and Bronny James, and I just remember thinking, like, man, I'm not sure it's going to be an easy road to hoe having to be in the same draft class as Bronny, because Bronny got treated like the first-round pick more than this guy did. And that's, by the way, that's on him to figure it out. And Connect's exactly what, in theory, they needed a shooter. It just did not work. There is a report out in The Athletic that you and I saw over the weekend from Dan Wojcicki that gets a little bit into how the Lakers want to build around Luka Dončić. Man. By the way, can I just say I'm not trying to pick on Dan Wojcicki? Like, I'm not trying to get after Dan Wojcicki every time that we're doing a segment. I like Dan. Like, he's fine. He's a fine reporter. But I think it's important when we give you reporting out there to, as best we think we can, give you the proper context of what we think is going on. Doug respects Katie Wu a ton and disagreed with her reporting last week. It was a good segment. Well, you did. I can't bring it up. You did. I respect Dan Wojcicki. I have some qualms about some of his reporting, but I think he's good at his job. I find this report to be very, very LeBron-centric. And so before I get into his takes in his reporting on Luka. Can I read you something that just caught my attention that makes me think that maybe it's a little pro-LeBron as a take, maybe influenced by LeBron sources, which might make you a little wearisome to just know that before we get into the criticism of the Luka thing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So he points out, in my opinion, The Athletic, Dan Wojcicki, Lakers beat writer, that this team will be built around Luka, but he does it in a very pro-LeBron way. Quote, this is a quote from Kim. He's not attributing this to sources. Quote, in no way would the Lakers be more talented in 2026, not when LeBron James was leaving, end quote. I don't know. Isn't that debatable? I understand the perspective, but the notion that there's no chance next year's Lakers team is more talented than last year's Lakers team, I think that's debatable. And for a beat writer, it just kind of, my eyebrows went up.
Well, yeah, especially, too, when you have the assets, right? When you had the cap space that was available to them, when you have some options, and we saw how they were able to utilize some of those resources to get Walker Kessler a defensive stopper. I mean, yeah,
Kessler,
I think
Mamu, Sexton, they might be more talented than last year's team.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
look,
the question, right?
It's a roll of the dice on a lot of those guys, but you don't sign players because you think they're going to be worse, right? You sign them because you think the team's going to be better, and that's what they think. You have to trust in their vision.
That's exactly right. I'm not saying that they will be more talented. I just think it's interesting to say that in no way would the Lakers be more talented in 2026, not when LeBron was leaving. Sounds like something LeBron would write. And I'm not saying Dan Wojcicki did that. I just found it interesting. And then this, quote, in total, the Lakers committed over $262 million in contracts for players with a combined 81 career playoff points scored. James has scored more than 100 times more postseason points by himself, end quote. Okay. Again, it raised my LeBron manipulation radar. Because two of the guys they got are from Utah. They don't go to the playoffs. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, right? There's a big mystery box element to this that you can't prove and you can't say definitively like he was trying to do in his piece. And I think, too, if you were the Lakers, you were in a position where you need as much cap space as you possibly could to take some more risks and get some more players that maybe you could hit on. Younger players, more dynamic. The Colin Sextons of the world are definitely a major roll of the dice, but also you can see the upside there. You can see the upside in Mama. You can certainly see the upside in Walker Kessler.
I just don't get the like writing about Luka's. Here's my point. The Athletic is writing about Luka Doncic's new look Lakers team, and they're framing the story as it can't succeed compared to last year's team. I don't love it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the truth is even though it would be interesting to get LeBron back on an extremely discounted rate because he's still a highly productive player, I mean, the case really could be made that you couldn't succeed with 3 of your 5 starting players not being defensive-minded at all, being negative defenders in Luka, Reeves, and LeBron. So the truth is that I think you could make a stronger case that they're further away from a championship if LeBron is playing the same way he's playing and he is that depreciating asset the way he is, because you can't make a true assessment on these players because they're still emerging. They haven't reached their apex. At least that's how you have to view it. And also, too, there's the Luka bump, right? The Luka bump where players just get better, especially on the offensive end around Luka Dončić. And I don't think that factors that in as heavily as well.
And you know what? We have a phone call. We'll take that real quick as we sort of dive into the Lakers here on DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Phone number 855-97-LA-FAN. Eric hanging out in LA. Eric, what's up, buddy? Thank you for listening, pal. You're on DMAC and Reiter.
Absolutely, man. You know, look, here's the thing, man. I grew up during the Showtime era. I grew up with Magic, Kobe, and now LeBron, right? And my thing with LeBron is this. As a fan, this is why I feel like most people don't like LeBron, is he comes off a little bit disingenuous, a little bit too calculated, right? And, you know, for me, as a Lakers fan, I'm glad that he's gone. When are we going to say, when he's left 3 different teams, the first Cleveland team, Pat Riley's Miami team, and now us, on a bad note, when is it your fault?
Dude, I think it's a great call. Eric, I could not agree more. And Lori gets mad at me when I insult the middle part of the country because we're from there, and I love where I'm from. But you can treat Cleveland one way, and they will forgive you. You can't treat L.A. that way. I mean, L.A. is not Cleveland. L.A. is not Miami, with all respect to Miami. And so I do think LeBron's act of being disingenuous and making it about him, they'll look the other way in some cities in America. He never connected here in part because I think LA is so used to stars and so accustomed to greatness that they don't need to be desperate in order to have someone who makes Los Angeles feel good about itself.
Exactly. And that's the thing about LeBron, too. I mean, he feels he's main character energy, right? That he's going to be the main character, at least one of them. Truth is, he's supporting cast now, man. And that is a tough pill to swallow to someone who's had a legendary career like LeBron James. But I think what that incredible call really encapsulates and epitomizes is that you're going to side always with the Lakers over a player, right? You're always going to side with this franchise for better or worse because you know what this franchise has been through multiple dynasties, through multiple times when you've seen this franchise rebuild itself on the fly. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of sympathy for LeBron James. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people looking back and really feeling warm and fuzzy feelings about the LeBron James era. And when you handle yourself like he did here in Los Angeles, you can see why it really, the overarching message is good riddance when it comes to LeBron leaving.
DMAC and Reiter, the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. We're going to keep chopping up this report that gets into how the Lakers perceive and therefore strategized around building this team so that it's about Luka Dončić and only Luka Dončić next here on DMAC and Reiter. Welcome back into the show. Yeah, you want to get after it?
No.
No, I want you to. I want you to woo the audience.
I already missed my cue, though.
You did. Can I tell you something cool?
Yo.
This is DMAC and Reiter presented by DMAC Law Group. Yeah. On the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That is calldowntown.com. We are still discussing, we'd love to discuss with you at 855-97-LA-FAN, Dan Wojcicki's story in The Athletic. And I did reference, and I could be interpreting this the wrong way. I'm sure Dan would take an exception to how I just framed it. You can go read it yourself at The Athletic. You should do that. I think it's very, very pro-LeBron in how it's framed, which, as someone who's covered LeBron, I have a sense, although no absolute knowledge, a sense of where that comes from. All right. He also says, he writes, if it appeared otherwise, the Lakers, listen to this, if it appeared otherwise, the Lakers had a strategy, albeit a tricky one, but a strategy nonetheless. I mean, that's a lot of mealy-mouthed, the strategy's not very good to me. Okay, but anyway, here it goes on. Its results spewed from a transactional fire hose Tuesday morning. I mean, Hemingway there. Quote, that was uncalled for. Quote, that's all spewed from fire. Quote, there was truly only one decision to make, and it was made for them early in the morning, February 2nd, 2025, when they traded for Dončić. The only viable path to an NBA championship in this era is by allocating all resources around the best player. It starts with Kessler, Wojcicki wrote, a player Dončić wanted at center most of all. The future first-rounders loss will certainly come back to sting the Lakers at some point. The Lakers sacrificed that flexibility for a player they believe fits perfectly alongside Dončić and Austin Reeves, a team source told The Athletic. Here's something we haven't discussed that the Wojcicki story had me thinking about, DMAC. We're blaming LeBron right now for not wanting to be a Laker and not prioritizing the Lakers. The Lakers have given Dončić what he wants. Do you think Luka Dončić is good, better than LeBron at requiring the things that are actually going to be successful? Like, is he a smart wielder of his influence? And do you think he will stick around long enough if things go badly to make sure it works if there are some bumps along the way?
So I think that could be part of what the Lakers' strategy is in all this is, hey, we'll give you the ingredients. You got to cook the meal, right? But you're going to stay in this kitchen, right? Because of the loyalty we've shown to you, because of the moves that we made. And I think this does put pressure on Luka Dončić. I think this puts pressure on J.J. Redick. It puts pressure on Rob Pelinka. But that remains to be seen, because the interesting thing about all of this is the team that he had in Dallas had Kyrie Irving. This team has Austin Reeves.
Not as good.
Not as good. You look at the shooting. The Lakers just let their two best shooters walk for nothing in Luke Kennard and Rui Hachimura, right? So, yes, you brought in guys that you're confident are going to be able to play alongside Luka very well, but the situation they put themselves in is there's more unproven talent around him. It's going to feel like a completely new team around him. DeAndre Ayton's gone, so he's going to have to find chemistry with this group quick, and they're going to find out if this has the potential to be a winning group around him.
I will say, trying to be an optimist here, not sure if it's going to work. Mamu, very good three-point shooter, 39% from the field last year. Sexton, I know Sexton turns the ball over a little bit, outstanding shooter. Last year, Sexton was a 49-40-86 player. I mean, you're not that far from a 50-40-90 season, which is basically you're a Hall of Famer unless you're Malcolm, what's his name? Brogdon. Like, it's every player on that list is a Hall of Famer other than Malcolm Brogdon. Very few have done it. So Mamu can shoot. Sexton can shoot. Reeves has got to shoot better at the amount of money that they just gave him. And I'll be very, very curious if Kessler starts to develop any kind of a three-point shot at all.
So that's the thing, too, is the Lakers are trying to, I think, oversimplify what it means to put a championship roster around Luka Dončić. Let's not forget, it took the Mavericks 7 years and 2 tanking sessions to build a team in Dallas that did not win a championship. And there was trial and error signings in that group. I mean, even JaVale and Christian Wood and Holmes. I mean, there was a lot of guys. KP, Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, there was moves that not all were good moves down in Dallas. And I look at it this way: is Kyrie, that was a trade. You also had P.J. Washington, that's your defensive stopper. You had the Daniel Gafford trade. You had Derrick Jones Jr. as a signing. So, yes, I think that there is a blueprint to what a Luka Dončić roster looks like. but it still is going to take a lot more work to build the house, right? The blueprint's intact, but if I'm the Lakers, if you're going to rely on the Dallas methodology to building around Luka Dončić, that tells me that you're not that innovative. That tells me that you're not trying your own thing. But that didn't work, though.
In defense of what you're saying, one, they made a finals, and two, doing the Mavericks approach is not necessarily the same thing as building around Luka Dončić. There's some overlap there, but you have to build around Luka. But
you're trying to build a team in 2027 for a team that lost in the finals in 2024. I mean, the league it's a rapidly changing league.
Yeah, but dude, like, what's the alternative?
They got smoked.
I know. They made the finals, dude.
They did, but I mean, it wasn't.
If the Lakers make the finals next year, that's a success. Come on.
Oh, 100%. I'm not denying that at all, but I'm just saying that it's not like that Mavericks team won in convincing fashion against what could be. I mean, was that an all-time great Celtics team? I mean, you didn't have a top all-time great player on that team. Yeah. I mean, it was a good team in Missoula, and they had depth, and they had their strategy with shooting threes, and they're a very good team. And I'm not denying that in any way, shape, or form, but I just think that if you're Rob Pelinka and you're the Lakers and you look at the roster, the way that it's constructed, it's going to take a lot more. And I think that what we've seen with the Knicks, right? The Knicks have been a team that did some things from a non-traditional sense as far as roster construction that led to a championship. And who you want to be that next team that's going to have those copycat effects.
I'm going to generally push back on the Celtics thing. They made the conference finals 4 times before the 5th time that led to a championship. They'd been in the finals before, and they'd lost to the Warriors. That Celtics team was battle-tested in a way no other team will be that the Lakers have to face outside of maybe the Thunder over the next few years. That was a good Celtics team. But what's the alternative? Don't build around Luka because he lost in the finals 3 years earlier? I don't understand what the alternative would be.
No, I think there's an alternative, but I think that there's still no P.J. Washington. There's no Derrick Jones Jr. There's no Najee. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that you have the trappings in the beginning of what a roster. You loved
this team a week ago.
I still love this team.
Wait, you're just.
I still think it's going to be a good team.
They're not as good as the Dallas team that sucked, but you love this team. What are you talking about?
I think that this team still has a chance to be extremely competitive in the Western Conference, but I also think that the piece that you're reading with Dan Wojcicki and everyone, it just feels like this is some puff piece about the moves they made when.
I gotta hold you accountable, DMAC. DMAC and Reiter 97 on the Fan.
What do you mean? I'm not saying anything different than I said before.
You just said
I was big on the Walker Kessler signing. I am.
You're like, these guys aren't as good as the Dallas guys, but then you just said the Dallas guys weren't very good.
I didn't say they weren't very good. I said they didn't win a championship.
What do you want from
the point I'm trying to make here is that Dallas team had a better roster around Luka Dončić than this current Lakers team.
I don't know if that's right.
You think that Dallas team had a worse roster? Team that Kyrie Irving, Austin Reeves, a perennial playoff choker?
By the way, I'm not trying to tell you what to think. If you want to recalibrate this is the greatest offseason in history for
I
a
didn't
week.
say that. I was excited
Bro, there's tape. I can go pull it.
I didn't say it was the greatest. Dude, this is insane. You were claiming I said the greatest offseason.
This is great. It's going to work. I believe in this.
I said this was an extremely necessary offseason by going out there and getting...
Unnecessary bad offseason?
I said necessary to get Luka Dončić better pieces that highlight his skill set and optimize what he does as a player. But I also said that, I mean, this is a different conversation.
Well, no, you just...
Side by side with the Mavericks roster.
I know, but you okay. I'm not even trying to pick a fight with you. I'm just trying to understand you. I don't want to fight. I love you. You're DMAC of DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. But I think I just heard you say for a while that my wife's gonna get mad at me. She's mad at me when she thinks I'm mean to you. She's a big DMAC fan. So, Lori, I hope you're not listening.
Say it with your chest, man. I'm mad about
Well, I'm trying to understand what you're saying with your head. So you're saying that the Dallas team wasn't good enough. So building around a Luka Dončić type sort of format like the Mavs is a bad idea.
I didn't say
now
that.
You're saying the Mavs team. Yeah, you did. You just started the segment saying, why are we building the way the Mavs did? They didn't win anything. They got destroyed. But then a few minutes later you said, but man, that team is so much better than these losers right now. So you're saying the Lakers suck.
No, the point I'm trying to make is that what I said at the top of the segment was that took the Mavericks 7 years to do. That took a couple tanking sessions to be able to put that roster around them. So think if you're the Lakers, you definitely have to recalibrate expectations based on your roster build for a guy that you're only guaranteed 2 years with after what happened this past season. So I still think that, look, this is an upgraded roster because
1 to 10, how much do you like this team? Would you want to coach
as
this
far
team?
as I would absolutely love to coach this team for sure. But as far as a 1 to 10, I would probably say like a 6.8.
Okay, I'm gonna go in the same range as you. I will say this: I think they're a giant question mark, and I don't know what it's going to work or not. The difference, I think, is that Dallas team caught lightning in a bottle, but showed what you. They don't have a wing, by the way, so they haven't really built this team the way that Dallas did. I do think the fact they built them young gives them a little more time and opportunity to try and see if they can grow into something. We can keep this going. We also want you to catch up on the Dodgers weekend because we weren't around with the voices of those who sort of shaped those stories. There's a very sad story coming out of Dodgers world that we want to get into, and we got to hear from Dave Roberts on some of the happenings in this Padres series. So all of that coming up. A Dodgers catch up through the voices of the Dodgers next here on DMAC and Reiter. What up? Welcome back into the show. As I always knew, DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports, accident, injury. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. You accuse me of gaslighting you. I feel like you're gaslighting me. We might need a co-host radio show marriage counselor sometimes to just weigh in.
I like that idea, actually.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that idea. I really do. Are you talking about the last segment?
Yeah.
I stand with what I said.
What did you say? I don't understand what you're saying.
So the idea is, yes, do you use what worked for the 2024 Mavericks, and you do consider it for what players play well around Luka Dončić? Yes, you want rim runners. You want the Daniel Gaffords, and you want the Derek Lively's. But the point I think I'm trying to make as far as this specifically pertains to the Luka Lakers era roster build is you can't just transfer all of that to the current version Lakers because they're very different teams. There is no Kyrie Irving. I think that people undervalue the impact of a Kyrie Irving, and the Lakers don't have that in Austin Reeves.
Which team do you like better, the 2023 Mavericks or the 2000 approaching 26 Lakers?
100% the Mavericks.
Can I play you something that you said on the 2023 NBA Finals runner-up, DMAC?
Probably taking that out of context, right?
I don't think so.
It took the Mavericks 7 years and 2 tanking sessions to build a team in Dallas that did not win a championship.
Right, so you don't think they're
Sounds
good enough
pretty good.
either.
Sounds pretty good.
It sounds great. You
But-
always sound great. So hold on. I'm not arguing with point one we just heard. Okay. They're not good enough. And I'm not arguing with point two that this Lakers team isn't approaching that, which you just said. But that means you think that, which is fine, that this Lakers team is way off.
I think that what we don't have an agreement on.
You're not running for office.
I know
You
I'm
can
not.
say it.
You're 100% right. I do not
I'll
think
want your vote.
this version. Okay, Bill,
love the
I will give you
Lakers.
this. Do I think that this team?
What's happening?
Do I think that this team, as currently constructed, is an improvement on last year's Lakers on paper? A lot remains to be seen. A lot of these players have to grow into those roles. Luka and Austin Reeves have to continue to level up. You got to get the best version of Walker Kessler. Only played 5 games last year, but his defensive prowess, I think, makes up for a lot of deficiencies for the Lakers with Luka and Austin Reeves. I think it's an upgrade potentially, but I also think the point I'm trying to make is that the Lakers think that they can just use their purple and gold magic wand and build the 2023-2024 version of the Dallas Mavericks. I think that you have to pump the brakes on that. I really, truly do.
Well, how are they? Okay.
What?
How are they building the 23 Mavs? They're just building around Luka Dončić. There are some similar. There will be,
and they're far from being that team, right? Like I said, no PJ Washington. You don't have a Kyrie Irving. So the point I'm trying to make too is the reason why I don't think.
So you think they're bad?
I think that they're worse off right now. I do.
Than they were. Than last year.
No, I think that right now, as currently constructed, there's a lot that needs to be proven.
There's no more. There's construction coming.
I know.
They're out of picks and money. This is the team.
You need Austin Reeves to play very well and consider what that looks like, and Walker Kessler to take the leap. So yes, I do think that a lot has to work out for them to be the team they hope they can be. But I also think too that you can't just use that roster build strategy and think it applies to this version of the Lakers. So I think the point I'm trying to make above all is really the onus is on Luka Dončić to make sure he's getting the most out of the current players on the roster. But also I think it's a little bit of a pipe dream to think you're going to get those same results for a Mavs team, as you pointed out, made it to the finals, but also got bounced in 5 games.
So you think I'm not trying to trick you.
I said it 15 times.
They're not very good.
I'm not saying that. See, that is why do you put words in my mouth?
I'm trying to ask you what your point is. So
Bill, if I was gonna say that the Lakers weren't very good, I would say the Lakers aren't very good.
The thing is, I think you did.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Here's the thing: that Mavericks team made it to the finals. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sitting here saying the Lakers are gonna go to the finals.
What are they?
I think that they're a second-round team.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I think the Lakers are.
That's
as
all I
currently
wanted.
constructed. No,
that's all I wanted.
You're playing games here.
I'm not playing games.
You're trying to get me to say the Lakers are arse.
I just want.
I'm not doing that.
I like that you're Scottish. I'm just trying to get you to say whatever you're saying.
Okay, so have I made it very clear at this point? Abundantly clear.
Yeah, it only took 15 minutes.
No. And you know what?
Talk to me.
You guys tag teaming.
Maybe it's a me thing.
You guys are tag teaming.
You can ask him for a sound anytime you want.
All right, I'm going to do that.
All right. Oh, shoot. I almost swore. Wait. That wasn't the outcome.
Wait, so are you not with me on this? Are we not in this together? I mean, I'm very curious to see.
Here's where my confusion came in, and it may be me. My memory is you extolling how good the Lakers were when they put this exact team together, and prodding me and giving me a hard time for not being on the same level of optimism, and basically painting me as the anti-Lakers guy. And then 4 days later, 5 days later, a week later, you basically saying, what a bunch of idiots to build around a Mavs team that wasn't very good, and they're not nearly as close to me, going, so you don't think they're very good either. And you're like, how dare you? That's my impression of the conversation we just had.
I think that it goes twofold. I think that a part of my enthusiasm last week was centered around the fact that, no pun intended by the way, but was centered around the fact that they did go get a center, and they did get a player at a position, a premium position, especially with the rise of Victor Wembanyama, and you still have dominant centers around this league, that the Lakers at least got the bare minimum, the requisite piece for Luka Dončić. So it's knowing that you're showing some level of aggression and some commitment to this current team. I didn't go out there last week and say that they were the Showtime Lakers again, or they're the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, or that they were the 86 Celtics.
I think there's probably like a way you could have said it that was as enthusiastic and positive I described 2 minutes ago without me claiming that you called them the Showtime Lakers.
You're giving the impression.
I mean, we can go find that too, right?
It was a while ago. Might take you some time.
I won't.
Okay.
I keep copious notes of everything we talk about.
So, look.
Talk to me.
What I did say last week, and something I still believe to be true, is that this team does have a high variance angle to it, just because anytime you add so many players to a roster, you need to see how those parts fit. And who knows if Mamu is the guy that we think he has the potential to be. Our guy, you sip the Kool-Aid on Carr, right? I mean, you loved him in the summer league.
I really do.
And I'm with you on that too. So if a guy like that, who's never played in the NBA, can prove to be a valuable asset. We had a great caller earlier talking about Dalton Connect, who is Dalton Reject, right? He's a guy who doesn't play on the roster. Why'd you make that face?
Oh, so good.
He's a guy who doesn't play on this roster. He's a guy who doesn't contribute. So there's just so much unknown. But look, the bottom line is you have a top 3 player in Luka Dončić, who I think is going to put together an MVP caliber season. When you have an MVP caliber player, it's about the pieces around him. And the question marks for Reeves, the question marks for Walker Kessler, there's a world where they can go from B's to A's, right? And no one can say it definitively, but I still think there's a world where their ceiling is a top 3 seed in the West. I do think they can win a round or two just because of how heroic Luka Dončić has the potential to be. So guess what? They're relevant. And also, too, you don't have LeBron James bogging them down anymore. So I think that there's a lot of things that are positive in the world of Lakers basketball. And no,
I'm gonna listen back later.
Think they're
either you did this me wrong or I did you wrong. And if I did you wrong, I apologize because I maybe I didn't hear.
I'll side with you. I'm pretty sure.
No. No. Trust me. Maybe I have like a July 4th hangover. I had a lot of bratwurst yesterday. Maybe they're just still affecting me. I will say this: you made me think of something. You made me realize something in this conversation, which is half the fun here on DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1, the Fan, the voice of LA sports. As the Lakers go, and really as you think the Lakers are going to go, they're the same thing. But as wherever you are listening to Doug and I, whatever you see when you see this team really speaks to your level of self-confidence or not in a Luka Dončić's ability to be so great that when there's the right-ish parts around him, is he good enough to get a team to a championship or a finals or a conference finals consistently? And the reality for me, Doug, is I don't know the answer to that question. I have had many GMs, many of whom don't say this anymore because of what happened 3 years ago, say you cannot win an NBA championship with Luka Dončić. They made that run to the finals, but it's hard to know, did they catch lightning in a bottle? Or was that the product of a plan that is something that can be replicated? And maybe I'm just trying to find my way to my own understanding and picking on you to do it on accident. If so, I'm sorry here on DMAC and Reiter, because I think that's the deal. Do you trust that Luka Dončić is capable as the engine? And he has to be because his usage rate is insane and he slows the game down so much, right? Just the way that he operates offensively, it is going to be a Luka Dončić heliocentric team. if you can't build around Luka, it doesn't matter what they do. I think that there's a chance. I keep staring at this team. Kessler, Grimes, Mamu, Sexton, Reeves as an addition, if you want to include him as an addition, even though he was here last year because he got the extension. As these sort of new parts, I think that team is good enough to do some damage if Luka Dončić is good enough to basically be the force that carries the team. So for me, the question mark of this team, as I sort of think about it and listen to you, is not the moves they've made. It's just Luka Dončić. Is Luka Dončić the guy? TBD.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. I think that these moves that Rob Pelinka and the organization made this offseason are a massive indication, a vote of confidence that they absolutely think he can be that guy. Why would you think anything else other than Luka Dončić, right? I just love the fact that, hey, it's better to swing and miss than watch strike three down the middle, right? This Lakers team is not watching strike three down the middle, right? So if they swing and miss, I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that because nobody remembers what you paid if you win. Everyone remembers that you didn't try if you lose, right? So I think that was you keep taking what I said last week and you're threatening to you threatened to get sound. Absolutely.
I did do that. That's fair. That's real.
Yeah. So you threatened to give me some gotcha sound, which is totally fine. You guys know I can live with that. I want all the smoke. But a lot of my enthusiasm last week about
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
A lot of my enthusiasm about last week and how my views towards this roster were heavily influenced surrounding the excitement. Hey, where there's a world where the Lakers and Rob Pelinka could have just sat on their hands and did absolutely nothing. But as you point out earlier in the show, they did go all in to a degree. They did completely exhaust their assets where the first round picks are gone. You really don't have anything else to work with to try to improve this roster. So it better work with these guys because if it doesn't, he's going to be packing. And Luka Dončić could also be packing too in a couple of years.
By the way, that's another thing that I don't... You know how you don't want to talk about a no-hitter when a guy's in the sixth inning and you don't want to talk to him in the dugout? I don't want to... Not that I actually do believe in jinxes, which is really stupid, but I do. But this is our job to talk about these things. Another factor on Luka, another giant question mark that I don't know the answer to, but will shape the future of this organization here in LA. This is DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. We presume that Luka will operate in good faith as a Laker. We presume that he will be committed to the Lakers the way that a superstar is supposed to be committed to a franchise that he chose. He didn't choose LA, and he wasn't drafted by LA. And I'm not going anti-Luka. I'm just saying this guy might be the only superstar in history who was traded to a team at the height of his greatness and had his heart broken as a result. Normally, if you get traded at Luka's level, at Luka's sort of stage of his career and level, you got traded because you asked to be traded, because you demanded to be traded. I mean, we live in an era where superstars aren't expected to, I think it's stupid, but aren't expected to live out their contracts and can just force their way if they're Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo or anybody, wherever they want to go. It is so rare to have a Luka Dončić, that level of a player, traded against his will to his great shock a few years after he made a finals, that I don't think we can predict how he's going to respond emotionally. I hope he loves LA. I hope he wants to be a Laker. I hope that he's more loyal to this city than I think LeBron has been on the way out. But there's no guarantee that in his heart of hearts, Luka doesn't want to be here and that he only has a year on the clock for these guys. And that's the other, and by the way, again, don't want to put it out. If Luka is miserable, it's not like you would get nothing in return. The problem is what you would get if he wanted to be traded is probably a rebuild, not a winning team. And so there's so many known unknowns here, dude.
And that's something that I think about constantly, too, that I think is such an incredible point made by you is the fact that, yeah, this is not a free agent signing, right? This wasn't a free agent picking a destination. This was a franchise finding its next face and finding its successor, finding the next superstar, right? He didn't chase Hollywood. Hollywood chased him, right? I think that that's so important to remember because he's going to be chasing legacy, and he's already chasing legacy. Luka Dončić knows more than anyone that he does not want to be a Elgin Baylor. He does not want to be a Charles Barkley, a Karl Malone. He does not want to be on that list of athletes that don't win a championship. And then on top of everything else, it's not just him not winning a championship, it's him not winning a championship as the star of the Los Angeles Lakers. And we talk so much about LeBron James, rightfully so, because it's LeBron James, and we have one of the world's foremost experts on LBJ. and he's sitting right next to me, and even though he takes shots at me.
Oh, I'm not. I know, dude. But I wasn't trying to today.
But the point I'm trying to make about LeBron, though, and I think you would agree that even though we give LeBron a hard time, he did the minimum. He wasn't the.
No.
He won a championship. Luka has to do that.
The thing about LeBron, I was thinking about this too. DMAC and Reiter 97 on the Fan. There's this debate about whether or not LeBron did enough in LA. And someone in the chat at the Fan LA just pointed out the expression, two things can be true at once. LeBron did everything he was supposed to as a Laker and everything he wasn't supposed to do as a Laker. Do you know how like Nick Wright and the sort of Tom Haberstroh and the sort of LeBron people out there, in Haberstroh's case, he's great. Stats people point out that LeBron's had 3 or 4 separate Hall of Fame careers if you just break his career into chunks. LeBron, in his 8 years in LA, was the best Laker and he was the worst Laker. And that's the complicated part about LeBron James. You can frame it as the good stuff and the guy's legendary Laker, and you can frame it accurately as the other stuff and the guy was really hard to take and not good for LA. So LeBron is complicated and he's both. Luka's such a question mark and such a mystery. And I don't even know, by don't know meaning I don't have the answer. I don't know if Luka's able to win a champion, is likely. If you were going to, let me frame it this way. If you were going to make a list of the top 10 players in the NBA, and then you were going to make a list of those players in order, who is the most likely to be able to be the main force on a championship team, to carry a championship team if need be? I'm not sure how high Luka would be on that list. I don't know. It's not a no. I'm just not totally sold that he can be the guy, but maybe he can. Maybe he's good enough without a Kyrie Irving to do in LA what he did in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the biggest question that we'll see answered the next 5 years here in this town, hopefully, right? I mean, for Luka Dončić just to have his prime years here to chase championships. I mean, I think the question, can Luka Dončić be the best player on a championship team? 100%. Jalen Brunson was just the best player on a championship team that went with the Knicks. But I think
if you put,
with the ancillary pieces around him.
Yeah, if you put Luka on that team, they can win a championship team. That Knicks team is pretty, is pretty well constructed.
So the answer is yes, Luka Dončić can be a 1 on a team that takes it home.
I know that. That's not my question. My question, he can be, but anybody can be a 1 that's a top 10 player in the NBA on a championship team that is constructed the way that the Thunder or the Knicks, I think, are constructed. There's so much depth and so much depth at wing, and they're so good defensively on the perimeter. My question is, can Luka Dončić be the best player on a championship team that is not elite outside of that player? Giannis took a non-elite team to a championship. LeBron's won. I mean, I guess he had Kyrie, but LeBron has certainly almost won championships with non-elite teams and rosters. I think Steph won an NBA championship with the Warriors against the Celtics with a non-elite roster. We just didn't know that they had already sort of been washed. I think Luka can, but I'm not sure. It's a really important question mark because there is not going to be a secondary superstar on this Lakers team unless you believe, and I don't think either of us do, that Austin Reeves at some point in the next 4 years will be a top 15 player. I think there's no chance he's a top 15 player. I do think he can be a very different version of what the Celtics clearly thought Jaylen Brown was, which is just, say, a top 30 player. I think Jalen's better than that, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah,
I think that to me is what ultimately is going to determine the success or failure of this franchise in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, for me, yeah, absolutely. I have zero doubts about Luka Dončić. I know there's people out there that say he's injured. There's people that call him Chuka or Chuka, chucking shots, Luka, whatever they want to call him, right? There's people that he's a stat pattern, that he throws up empty stats because he puts up triple-double numbers. To me, I'm not worried about the engine in the Ferrari. I'm worried about the tires, right? I'm worried about the other pieces around it. I mean, I think that's the number one factor, too. And look, I know, you're a much bigger Austin Reeves guy than I am, right?
I don't know. I saw the twinkle in your eye. I saw the twinkle in your eye.
He was nice to your son, right?
He was nice to my son.
Wait, hold on. Why is that a bad thing for me to say? You love Austin Reeves, okay?
Because I know that you're misframing my perspective.
I'm not trying to misframe it. No,
I like him as a person.
The point I'm trying to make is that I think that if both of us were to be asked, who do we think that Austin Reeves can continue to level up as a player, you probably have a little more confidence in Austin Reeves than I do.
Let me ask you this question because it's very connected, DMAC. DMAC and Reiter 97.1 The Fan. For the Lakers to have success, let's presume that they're within a range of possible championship competition. who would you want to have to be the higher ceiling, most improved player? Who would you want to be the number 2 if they can both develop to their ceiling? But you only can pick one. Walker Kessler or Austin Reeves?
Walker Kessler, because if
I think
Walker
so too,
Kessler can be an all-star defensive player of the year level center, that cleans up not just what Luka Dončić doesn't do on the defensive end, but also his counterpart, his teammate in Austin Reeves. So that's going to be the number one thing that's going to be essential to their success, I think, outside of Luka Doncic's greatness, is can Walker Kessler be that defensive stopper, be that rebounder, be that rim runner? Can they develop his outside shot? Can he be used in pick and roll situations with those soft hands? I mean, that Luka was playing without a center his first year. In the second year, he had a disgruntled center in DeAndre Ayton, who just was an absolute train wreck.
He is a train
emotionally wreck. And as far as just how he was committed as a player, there was just way too much inconsistency.
DeAndre faking.
Yeah, I'm DeAndre hating, man.
Yeah, you are.
I'm mad at it. And yeah, Jackson, hey, so think about what Luka could do with a competent center, let alone an all-star level center, let alone maybe an All-NBA or Defensive Player of the Year candidate level center. I mean, it would take this team to heights that I don't think that a lot of people could even imagine right now based on what we've seen from that center position for the last couple of years.
DMAC and Reiter 97.1, The Fan. That's a lot of Luka talk. We got sidetracked. I enjoyed it. It was a really good conversation. Do you want to hear from Dave Roberts and Teoscar Hernandez and some other Dodgers folks in a minute? Edwin Diaz?
I love the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I know you do. I will never doubt that. Doug's true love, the Dodgers, in the voice of his true love, the Dodgers themselves. Next here on DMAC and Reiter. Welcome back into the show. It's the radio show. DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group. On the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That's calldowntown.com. Why can't I listen to the radio show?
It's a great show.
I love the
It's
show.
an amazing show.
You listen back.
I listen every single day.
You've gotten me to listen back.
Every minute.
Do you really?
I really do. You know, it's pretty cool. I was watching the Brazil story on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they were playing our intro song, whatever song that is. And I was like, did they copy us? I'm pretty sure they did. They absolutely had to, right?
Brazil's a big fan of the show.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Except we win. Sorry.
It's a country?
Yes.
I got it. We will find out in 30 minutes. I didn't know if you meant me and you.
I meant me and you. I meant me and you. I meant me and
Take
you.
that, Neymar!
I meant me and you.
Poor Neymar. All right, so a lot of goings on with the Dodgers over the holiday weekend. Hope you had a wonderful 4th. Doug and I got to spend a little time with our respective families. I invited Doug to come to the beach. He never showed up. That's a total lie. That's a lie. I don't invite you anymore.
I drove past a couple times.
Roki had such another just brutal outing, and Dave Roberts gave his thoughts. This is all the way back on Thursday, right? Gave his thoughts on Roki's continued struggles.
They were just on a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, there is a little bit of adjustment that you need to make, but you look at some of the pitches that they weren't good pitches either. So still got to make good pitches. I really don't think it's the fastball velocity per se. I think there's other variables that are leading to, the lack of punch or swing and miss, and also the hard contact.
DMAC, at what point do you think whatever promises the Dodgers made to Roki Sasaki to give him a fair shake as a starter and not a bullpen guy no longer matter?
I would say at some point after the All-Star break, if he continues to not be able to go at least 5 innings and you're seeing the command in the zone really get pummeled. I mean, he gave 3 home runs in his last start. That's been an issue for him. He's one of the worst in the entire National League as far as keeping the ball in the yard. But I would say that if everyone's getting healthy, which they are, and you get the return of Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell, that's already 4 out of 6. Justin Robleski nearly made the All-Star team, so that's 5. And you look at that 6th spot, and guess what? Eric Lauer's pitching better than Emmett Sheehan and Roki Sasaki.
Combined.
Exactly. So I think that unless he really puts together 4 or 5 really good starts, he could lose a spot in the rotation. I will say, though, I think that they realize the upside that he does have, and they also know that if he does go to the bullpen, that he's going to not utilize that 4-pitch mix, right? I mean, that's the thing with Roki Sasaki is his development is completely hinged on can you develop a slider, can you use that splitter? Because if he goes to the bullpen, he's probably just going to go out there and throw that 4-seam fastball, mix in maybe that splitter and the forkball, maybe just go fastball and forkball. So I think it's paramount to his development that he does stay in the rotation and you kind of live through some of these bad starts. There was a lot of talk at Dodger Stadium that he was tipping his pitches because the Padres were pretty much on everything. So hopefully he improves those mechanical cues that may have led to something like that. But if I'm the Dodgers, it's simple as this. Emmett Sheehan I don't see as a frontline starter moving forward, right? Roki Sasaki, that's still on the table. So I would say you take Emmett Sheehan out of the rotation, you leave Roki in as long as you can.
DMAC and Reiter here on 97.1 The Fan, the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. And by the way, you think, maybe accurately, they like to call you out. Let me call myself out and praise you. When Eric Lauer was first brought onto this Dodgers team, I was incredulous. I was certain he would be terrible. I believe I used the words, he sucks. You corrected me and told me the Dodgers would figure it out. And I may have intimated with my words that you were pandering, and I could not have been more wrong. So credit to you on Eric Lauer being an absolute baller with the Dodgers. Totally different player with this team. And my partner, Doug McCain, he called that stuff.
Yeah, you got to give Eric Lauer all the credit. You got to give me all the credit. Okay, I'll take that credit. Hey, it's all love, baby.
Hell yeah, baby.
I will say, though, that even I'm surprised that he's been as good as he's been. So even I will say that the results that he's had, his ability to go out there every 5th or 6th day and give the Dodgers the innings that they need and not have to force them to go external to fill that spot in the rotation. It's allowed them to maintain that 6-man rotation that you need with Roki Sasaki and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, but a 3.18 ERA since joining the Dodgers.
Wow.
And we're not even talking about 2 or 3 starts. I mean, we got a legit sample size 5 starts, so hopefully he picks it up. Hopefully he continues it, because every time you get an inning or a start out of Eric Lauer, that's one less start you need from another pitcher, so it allows them to maintain that consistency, and I've been very impressed with him with the Dodgers.
DMAC and Reiter here on the new 97.1 The Fan. Teoscar Hernandez had a go-ahead grand slam on Friday night. It was awesome. It's good to have Teo back in the lineup, and he talked with Spectrum Sports in L.A. about that moment.
We never feel like we're down. We know what we're capable of. We know the team that we have. It only takes a good at-bat, get on base, and somebody's going to take the big swing. In this case, it was me.
I mean, dude, do you think they never think they're down, or do you think he meant we never think we're down against the Padres because they're the Padres?
I think it's both those things.
Yeah.
I really do, because earlier in that inning, Kyle Tucker hit in what should have been a double play, which would have limited the damage, but instead it was an error on Cronenworth. It turns into a grand slam by Teoscar Hernandez, and this is great for the Dodgers because he's one of their big impact right-handed bats. He's clutch in the postseason. Feels like every single year we get a big Teoscar Hernandez moment. First year with the Dodgers, he had a big solo shot in Game 5 of that NLDS against the Padres, gave them a much-needed insurance run. He was pivotal in that series, in that game. Also, the clincher against the Yankees in Game 5 had a big double in that one. Last year, his home run against the Phillies in Game 1 of the NLDS, I think is one of the most underappreciated, under-discussed home runs in the history of the Dodgers, because he doesn't hit that home run, they probably lose that Game 1, might even lose that series. So Teoscar Hernandez, big in the regular season, big in the postseason. The bat's been back this year, and it's been a great thing to see.
DMAC and Reiter. And by the way, we've got a call from the chat. Daniel, bear with us. We're going to get to you in just a second here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. That's the chat on YouTube at The Fan LA. Did want to let you listen really quickly to Edwin Diaz taking questions from reporters on those reports from earlier in this season about cockfighting and his involvement allegedly in that.
There was a story from USA Today about cockfighting in Puerto Rico. Did you have any comment or response to what was in there?
You know, I've been doing that before. You know, because like the story said, that's legal in Puerto Rico. But now I'm concentrated to help this team to win. I'm concentrated to be back ready as soon as possible. So I'm not thinking much in that. You know, that's a past story. So for me, my mindset is be back as soon as possible.
Has MLB or the commissioner's office reached out to you at all about any of that?
No, they didn't reach to me. You know, because I wasn't doing nothing illegal. So they didn't reach to me. You know, but at the end of the day, I'm looking to help this team to win. You know, and pass those news and help this team to win in a positive way.
DMAC, I feel like when this came out and we were doing the show, we were fairly nuanced in our perspective that this is it's culturally different there than it is here, cockfighting. And I think we both offered some grace to Edwin Diaz, certainly in a way that I probably wouldn't if it was someone in the States, that it's a cultural thing that I didn't understand until the reporting came out, and I read more after the USA Today report. In light of that, I kind of respect the hell out of him just saying that, like, this is a thing that's a part of where I come from.
Yeah, I do too, Bill. I think that when this initially came out, there was a massive uproar. People talking about animal cruelty and the laws, how they've changed in Puerto Rico. This is something that's gone on in that country for hundreds and hundreds of years. This is a part of that culture, and for better or worse, that is, I think, the viewpoint of Major League Baseball. That Major League Baseball, if they were going to find something that was nefarious in this and they were going to punish him, they would have done it already. And I guarantee you that Major League Baseball is going to veer on the side of, hey, what is best for us from a public perception standpoint? They decided that there was no punishment necessary for Edwin Diaz, so everyone moves on. Great thing for the Dodgers is it looks like he's healing very well, that we're going to see him at some point very soon after the All-Star break. And we're talking about the Dodgers getting an elite all-star level closer. It's going to almost feel like a trade deadline acquisition. You're going to see the Timmy Trumpet. It's going to be very electric, but it looks like we're past this whole issue right now.
Dude, if you include Diaz and then you throw Sasaki into the bullpen, if that's what happens when Snell or Glasnow are back, if that becomes a move that bullpen becomes 10 times more formidable overnight if those moves can happen. DMAC and Reiter 97.1 The Fan. Daniel, who's usually in the chat, hanging out in the comment section, part of that community, on YouTube at The Fan LA, is calling in at 855-97 LA fan from Santa Ana. Daniel, thank you, brother. We appreciate you so much. You're on DMAC and Reiter.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm one of the day one people on the chat and first time on the call.
Let's get it. Welcome.
And yeah, good talking to you guys. First, I want to talk about Sasaki. I think it's time for him to go to the bullpen, just like last year. And he was just lights out last year. And then the good thing is that the Dodgers are going to start getting healthy through this month and through August. And then I want to touch base on Eliezer Alfonso Jr. I feel like this hasn't been talked to enough. It's been talked to more in the Spanish language sports pages and talk shows, and I appreciate the ovation that he got Sunday. It shows that the Dodger fans are great. How they get this. I hate how the Dodger fans get bad reps about showing up to late to games, leaving games early, and this and that, and throwing the beach balls around. What they did was just first class. And it was just really moving to see that. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for time for the call, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for listening, for hanging out. And in fact, Alfonso Jr. is something that we want to talk about at the end of this segment. For those of you that don't know this, the devastating earthquakes. There were back-to-back 7+ magnitude earthquakes in Venezuela a week ago. Actually, a little more than that, June 24th. And he found out very, very recently, as he was getting called up for his big league debut, that his 16-year-old sister and his stepmother passed away in those quakes. Thousands of people have been confirmed dead from this horror, and it's sort of this situation where he's got the greatest moment of his professional life. He's debuting for the Dodgers and at the major league level, and he's got the most horrific moment of his personal life. And he spoke yesterday after the game about sort of this convergence of two different. And very difficult things to sort of navigate simultaneously.
This is a tough moment because, like 3 weeks ago, she told me that she had a beautiful dream, but she wasn't going to tell me anything until the dream came true. And I'm pretty sure the dream was something about this. And I wish she was alive to watch me playing in the big leagues, but I know she's on God's side now, and she's going to protect me, and she's going to enjoy every moment that I'm going to have.
And Dave Roberts, obviously, his manager, also talked yesterday about his personal sort of experiences of having to play through grief.
I mean, I lost my father in spring training and right at the end, and you just got to keep going and get ready for the season, and it's not easy. You're still human, and family is everything. But players are wired some weird, crazy way to kind of keep going forward and compartmentalize. But something that's so fresh and raw, and you can't be there. That's what's heartbreaking. But I'm sure he has a lot of support, and I hope to see his father at some point and give him a big hug. And I know he wants to give his son a big hug. But yeah, that's real life stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what words to offer other than thoughts and prayers to him and his family. And Dave Roberts is right. By the way, it's not the same thing, but one of my closest friends passed away. Do you guys remember Trez Paler? He was a Yahoo Sports football writer. And I introduced him to his wife, Ebony, who's one of my oldest friends. And she called me at 4:30 in the morning to tell me that Trez had passed away. And I didn't know what to do, so I just went to work and did my radio show. And because I was doing a radio show then from 7 to 9 a.m. And weirdly, actually, the show was actually kind of nice to have. And then the show was over is when I started to grieve. And I know it's not the same thing as losing your sister or your mother-in-law, your stepmother, but there is something to the fact that grief's part of life. And I for whatever reason, DMAC, I guess sometimes maybe, and I'm not speaking for Alfonso, but maybe having a baseball team to be around is one of the ways that he can sort of process what I'm sure is the unprocessable.
Yeah, the deepest condolences to the Alfonso family. I mean, I can't imagine the mix of emotions that he was dealing with yesterday at Dodger Stadium. It was great to see the ovation he got from that Dodger Stadium crowd that was very aware of what he was playing through and what he was going through. And yeah, I think for this Dodgers clubhouse, his locker was right next to Miguel Rojas, who's also from Venezuela, and that was intentional to make sure that he was there for him. But this is nothing short of heartbreaking, incomprehensible, just an absolute tragedy. And for him to be able to perform and do his job and play in a game where he was dreaming of his entire life, but to do it with that in his mind had to have been just incredibly difficult and impossible to do, but he managed to do it. And yeah, you really just feel for the Alfonso family and everyone dealing with that in Venezuela. Just an absolute tragedy beyond belief.
That's right. Thoughts and prayers to every single person who has lost someone in those dual earthquakes, and of course to the latest Dodger who had that sort of the duality of life, right? This amazing moment professionally overshadowed by something so horrific, and as Dave Roberts said, actual life. And Daniel, thank you for bringing that up and talking about it and making sure we talked about it here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. The U.S. men's national team game is in 15 minutes. It's obviously a big deal, and we're going to preview that next on DMAC and Reiter. back into the show. It's hard to come back on the microphone because DMAC makes me laugh most of the time. DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's injury help, DMAC, to 40222. All right, U.S. men's national team getting it going against Belgium in 9 minutes with Flo Balogun. As we know, that red card suspension has been suspended, which is a sort of a roundabout way, which is exactly how the process was, of letting everyone know he will play today. And I respect that you're going Pochettino, by the way. I guess he said his name is Pochettino. I'm not doing it. I have been calling him Pochettino for 10 years. I'm going to call him Pochettino some more. Here is men's national team head coach, Mr. Pochettino, sorry, Poch, talking about, with Fox Sports, that shocking return of our striker.
We were focused in do our job, is to prepare the game in the best condition. Of course, to have all the players available always is a good news. Of course, to be or to have the possibility to have Balo again with us and being available is important for the team.
Not a surprise what the starting 11 looks like, but for those that haven't seen it, Matt Freese again is the goalie, Serginho Dest, Chris Richards, Tyler Adams, Anthony Robinson, Weston McKennie, my personal favorite player on the team, Christian Pulisic, who's been outstanding, Tim Ream, Alex Freeman, Malik Tillman, who had that wonder goal on that set play, on that set piece, on that after what we got down a man because of, got a little bit of breathing room because of the red card on Balogun. Tillman is out there, and then of course Balogun is the striker. I know we already talked about the Balogun thing. I don't know how much you want to revisit it. We are better than Belgium. Belgium is still dangerous. They haven't performed particularly well, but here they are. This is a very winnable game to go play Spain in the Final Eight on Friday.
It absolutely is. And now you get the boost of the home crowd at Lumen Field up in Seattle. You get the boost of Balogun back, and you have a USA team playing with a lot of momentum. And this team played each other a few months back, but two very different teams right now. And it feels like, hey, Belgium always known for that technical quality, known for their play in the midfield. The U.S., you've got the edge when it comes to just the overall athleticism of your group. So it's going to be really interesting to see how those first few minutes are just going to play out with the emotions of Balogun, with how Belgium's going to respond to that. And a lot of these games, I mean, we saw Spain and Portugal earlier, it's 0-0, and it's a lot of tension. It's very tight early on. So the good thing for this U.S. team is they've come out in most of the games of this tournament looking pretty good in the outset. Hopefully that's the case because, I mean, we're talking about uncharted waters when it comes to a successful U.S. team. So really excited, man. It's electric.
It's really cool, dude. We're gonna be sort of, we'll keep you updated when the match begins in about 8 or 9 minutes. U.S. men's national team, obviously on home soil here on the West Coast, with an opportunity to advance to the quarterfinals and to play Spain in L.A. on Friday. By the way, remember I was telling you that I was thinking about buying tickets, like spending too much money on tickets to go to the game. I forgot the game's Friday. We have a show. So our boss Andrew said if you get 2 tickets, I think he winked at me.
Really?
Yeah, I have to get him a ticket.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Do you think he'd believe me?
For a second, I thought maybe that second one was for me.
What if I came down? It would be. What if I came down with the U.S. men's national team cough?
If I U.S. men's national team
you think
cough,
that would go over well?
I might spread in there. But
can I assign myself a red card and miss this show?
Solution, remote show.
We have a little bit of Dodgers news here. The Dodgers have activated Evan Phillips from the injured list, Carlos Duran to the 40-man roster, and they've DFA'd Chucky Robinson.
Not a surprise there.
Yep.
Chucky Robinson, clearly a catcher that was there for depth. Evan Phillips, his return was accelerated in the last couple of weeks, and this is major.
And released Jake Eater, excuse me.
Jake Eater's gone? Okay.
Yeah, he gone.
Look, I mean, that's kind of the thing about being on this Dodgers roster is when everyone's healthy, all of a sudden, just spots on that 40-man roster become a premium. And guys like that are usually the casualties, guys that aren't expected to be role players even at this level, more developmental guys, more like AAA depth. And this is extremely exciting to get Evan Phillips back. Evan Phillips a couple years ago was the Dodgers' very best reliever. In 2022, he had a 1.14 ERA. He was that guy. He wasn't nicknamed Fireman Phillips for nothing. Like, he went out there, he put out the fires, he stepped up in the big high-leverage situations. He's missed a lot of time, and they've slow-played his return. They want to make sure that when he did come back, that he wasn't going to have any setbacks. So now you're talking Evan Phillips, really, when he's right, all-star level quality reliever. Edwin Diaz has best in the game level closer, and then you look at Tanner Scott having that bounce back year. Now you have the makings of a very elite bullpen. So if Evan Phillips is 80% of the guy he used to be, he would be serviceable. If he's 90+% of the guy he used to be, you're talking about adding a top 10 to 15 reliever in the game.
DMAC and Reiter here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Shifting back to the U.S. men's national team, we're in that sort of what's the opposite of a Goldilocks zone? I just watched Hail Mary last night, so I've got space analogies on my mind. By the way, space I think is my biggest fear. My biggest fear is space.
It's a final frontier.
Yeah, it's also an unlimited, basically, ocean of no oxygen. I'm afraid of not breathing, it turns out. That's the thing that gets me. Okay, why did I bring that up? We're in that sort of anti-Goldilocks zone. We can watch the first hour of the game, the first half, while we do the show, DMAC and Reiter here on 97.1 The Fan. I think I have to stay. What score does it have to be that I can get in the car? It's an hour for me to get back to the South Bay. We have to be up 2 goals, right?
I would say 3.
Are you hanging with me?
Absolutely.
Are you chilling?
I mean, that would be a dream come true for me.
It's a dream come
Overtime DMAC.
So I just invited DMAC to spend an extra hour with me after the show. I'll let you know tomorrow.
I love
him say he's going to do it.
I love some bottomless Bill Reiter.
Do you know who's not going to stay?
Who?
Bursch.
Bursch.
He's gonna leave.
You guys are matching today. It's pretty interesting.
Are we matching? Let's see a little.
Very
little
similar
$3.
colored T-shirts.
Let's see here. Who wears it? Well, that's me. There's Bursch.
Okay, that's like really insanely the same color there.
I mean,
that's kind of why he has coordinated.
Yeah, he wears it better, I think, though.
I would say
he's got a certain.
I'd say it's tied for first.
Oh my god,
you're both wearing
great. Why
great.
Are you pandering me?
Political DMAC is back.
Yeah.
Hey.
Dude, you remind me of Bill Clinton, who I covered. I got to tell you, I think it looks great on Bursch.
I really do.
But it looks so good on Bill.
I would say
you look perfect.
Okay, I'll pick yours. I think you look better.
Thank you.
Just because that's the shirt that I would wear. I like it a little looser.
Okay, a little loose.
Bursch going on the tight side.
Who?
Bursch a little on the tighter side.
Swole over there.
Yeah.
Little. He's our version of Cody Decker.
Yeah.
You know, Cody does wear tight shirts.
Yeah.
But if
you could see a nickel in that.
If I put the time in the gym that he puts in and had, I would.
Bro, I'd go shirtless every episode.
You go shirtless in the breaks anyway.
Facts.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to share that, right?
Hey,
supposed to be a secret.
It was.
All right. Final score predictions, even though they're stupid. USA 3, Belgium 1. I think they're so dumb. I hate it when people ask me those questions when I do radio hits. Who do you think wins the series? I don't know, man. If I knew, I would bet on it and I wouldn't be here.
I'm saying US 1-0.
1-0.
1-0, a tight
you
one.
Went nil.
Tension.
Oh, don't let it slip out from earlier in the show. Oh, shucks. I don't know how these red cards work, but I sure think we got the right deal. Come on, man.
Hey, I think it was a great call for America. Well, you started
it. Yeah, you finished it. I love it.
There's injustice.
He's Doug McCain.
What's your score prediction?
3-1.
3-1, I know. Just want to reiterate.
When I speak.
I know, I heard.
It's okay, you can listen.
But 3-1, 1-0.
I'm here too. I miss you.
I know.
Are we spending an hour together extra? I hope so. Can we find some food in this place?
Yeah, we got some snacks over there.
Dodgers preview next on DMAC and Reiter. up? Welcome back into the show. DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That's calldowntown.com. He's Doug McCain. I'm Bill Reiter. Belgium came out like they had something to prove. Great save in the second minute from USA goalkeeper Matt Freese to keep out a Belgium strike. So it's 0-0. I mean, look, this is to go to the quarterfinals. Of course, we're going to have our hands full. Looks like we have our hands full.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get this far without facing some level of tough competition. So lots of excitement about this one, man. This one is one that I think levels up our status globally on the world of soccer, even though it does feel like we've turned to these global villains overnight because of the Balogun call. It does feel that way, but still, hey, you win, you shut everyone up.
It is time for the injury report brought to you by Ozeron Law, the injured worker hotline. Blake Snell should be throwing another live session or bullpen this weekend, Dave Roberts says. Evan Phillips has been activated, as we told you, from the IL. Edwin Diaz will do another live session, DMAC, later this week. Plan is for him to possibly go to Arizona during the All-Star break to continue his rehab process. Tommy Edmonds' foot is still sore, explaining his continued absence from the starting lineup. The hope is that Edmund will be back in tomorrow, and Tyler Glasnow has continued his progression but has been just playing catch.
Yeah, the first one that stands out there, of course, is those big dogs coming back on the pitcher's mound. I mean, Blake Snell, you want to get him back as soon as possible. Tyler Glasnow, I think you want to get him back as soon as possible, too, because the sooner you get them back, the sooner you start to see what you have as far as your post-trade deadline rotation. I think for me, if the evaluation is not just how good they are as a pitcher, we know that. It's how do they bounce back from start to start. Does it look like the velocity is consistent? Does it look like there's any red flags in there that would want to make you be aggressive to getting not just a Tarek Skubal, but would you have to go dip down that to a Joe Ryan of the Minnesota Twins or a Sonny Gray? I mean, does it come to a factor in the health of your starting rotation? And then, too, I think the Tommy Edman piece of this all is interesting. I mean, he got to a really, really great start. Absolutely hot coming back off the IL. A little bit of a setback. Hopefully it's a lot of nothing because he's looked the part so far, and I think that's going to be massive because Alex Freeland really has slowed down. I don't think the Dodgers can rely on any of those young players, Alex Freeland or Ha-Seong Kim, to be everyday players at this stage of their careers. So you get Edmund back, you get him healthy, you make sure he can assume that role. But the big three pitcher injuries, it's Edwin Diaz, it's Blake Snell, it's Tyler Glasnow, and the Dodgers are going to have a couple weeks to truly evaluate what they have in those guys. That'll determine if they go and take some big swings at the deadline.
He's Doug McCain. I'm Bill Reiter, DMAC and Reiter here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Let's go to Jimmy from Lakewood on the phone line at 855-97 LA Fan, 855-97 LA Fan. Jimmy, appreciate you, buddy. You're on DMAC and Reiter.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me on. This is the best 2 to 6 hour window on the airways in L.A. I did want to say a couple things about USA Soccer. They got to play their best every game, and everybody got a reason to hate, but USA all the way. That's number one. Number two, Roki, he could go to the bullpen. You know, it's all about October, baby. And Edwin Diaz, you know, everybody wants dirt. It's all about the timing, and if somebody wants to make an issue of it, take the L. Dodgers still going to win. And, listening to the game, to the soccer game, just operate your vehicle safely before you make it back to PVS States, all right?
You got it, Jimmy. Thank you. But I'm going to stay here this time. I think I'm going to stay in the office and just hang out. Jimmy, thank you for the kind words. Thank you for listening. I am Team Roki. I have been a little irrational in my Roki love, especially early on. It's probably almost, not yet, but what are we, 2 starts from bullpen time? If and when there's some reinforcements behind him?
Yeah, I think maybe, possibly, but I think he's also going to get the longest leash that he could possibly get, even if there's some bad starts in there. Because let's not forget that the second you throw him into the bullpen, you really start to stunt the development on the pitch mix.
Oh, my God, Belgium just missed an easy goal. Sorry to interrupt you.
I saw it, too.
Oh, my God.
My heart stopped.
Thank God we're playing Belgium and not Spain.
Yeah, right. Woo! A lot of tension. I mean,
that was a basic sitter. I mean, that is basically...
And that's been Roki Sasaki, the strike zone.
Belgium's
right?
the Padres.
Yes. Certainly. So I
They
would say
should
this.
be good, but they're not.
And the thing too about Roki Sasaki is they have proof of concept from last season, knowing that he could miss a very long amount of time, a significant chunk of time, and know that you can still plug him into the bullpen late in the year, and he can assume that role. He can go right in there, simplify his pitch mix, attack hitters with a fastball and a forkball. So I would say if I'm the Dodgers and I have a very comfortable lead in the National League West, and I still have the best record in baseball, I use that as a luxury to develop a future asset in Roki Sasaki. I don't want to see him just thrown into the bullpen. I'd rather see him develop as a starting pitcher at the minor league level than have him in the Dodgers bullpen, because I'd rather get 5 or 6 innings of Roki, get you 100-plus pitches, have him zero in on that pitch mix versus just having to downgrade him into the bullpen. I think that would be a massive mistake.
Oh, no!
Oh! Goal?
God. Yeah.
Goal for Belgium?
Belgium up 1-0.
What?
Early and fast. They're dominating so far, too. We look flat.
I hate this. This destroys my prediction.
I'm going to be the one to say it. I'm going to be the one to just overreact and be that guy right now and just say the thing everyone's going to say tomorrow if we don't turn this around. This is the problem with rescinding the Balogun card, is it throws off the entire vibe and feeling. And I'm not being political. I'm not trying to be political. But all of a sudden, you make this match about the President of the United States and the head of FIFA and Europe's governing body, UEFA, being put out, and the world and the angst and the drama and the noise, and not about a USA team that's been in fine form and should have been fine. I mean, look, you got to be good enough not to let the distractions bother you. That's a terrible clearance there. But it's just, I mean, this is, yeah, he's onside. It's a goal. I just, it pisses me off. The whole thing, this is what because we were the better team coming in, why add another? I know that people want to flow to play, but why add another variable?
Yeah, no, we talked about at the top of the show today. One thing that I feared was not just the distraction for the U.S., for that side, but it was also the added motivation
1,000%.
for Belgium. And you see the looks on these faces for that Belgium squad. Hey, you want that us against the world mentality? Then fine, because guess what, Bill? It worked last night in Mexico, right? For England to step into the enemy territory and have success. So sometimes teams and players, they need to find that singular edge, that reason that can take teams over the top. And look, there's still a lot of soccer to be played here. There's a long game in front of them. But yeah, the U.S. definitely facing some adversity, feeling some pressure. You got to find the equalizer. I want to see this thing get level.
The thing is, there's so much game to be played, but this wasn't against the run of play. This wasn't USA playing well and Belgium having a lucky strike. Look, it's 11. We're 10 minutes and 44 seconds into this match. This is the best I've seen Belgium play in this entire tournament, and we look completely off balance. We just look shook, and it doesn't make sense. And so you're right. You know what we have to do? When you're playing a soccer match and you're the away team, like England yesterday, and you're the underdog, not because of talent or ability, but because of proximity and location, you basically have to gut it out for 20 minutes, play ugly, suffer, and then grow into the game. We got to play like we're the away team because we look like that. We look shook, whether it's the nerves of trying to go to the quarterfinals. I think it's the Balogun noise and all the things that were going on with it. And again, I know those of you fans out there are happy. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying if you're a soccer expert, if soccer is your life, you know that Balogun shouldn't play. And that means that every one of these 11 players on the field for the U.S. know that he shouldn't be out there. Doesn't mean they don't want him out there. I'm sure it feels weird. We just need to grind out DMAC 15 or 20 minutes of 0-0 from here on in, be down 1-0, and at 30 minutes grow into the game, and to your point, go equalize. A lot of time left.
Yeah, I mean, the defense is getting a lot of criticism as far as just looking like they're standing around. I mean, right now, 6 shots to 0 for the U.S. compared to Belgium. That's not going to get it done. So they need to find something early. This Belgium team is locked in. They look absolutely ready to play. I think this USA team looks a little shook early. They really look very shook in this one early on up in Seattle. Hopefully this team can find a way to score a goal because now the pressure's on them. You got to get the offense going. You got to get the attack going. You also, defensively, I mean, they're lucky it's not 2-0. They're lucky it's not multiple goals.
Do you? We have a source close to Doug McCain, I believe, in the comment section at the Fan LA. Left on base too often. Do you know who that is?
Not the top of my head.
Okay. We got that Texan Doug. Doug wore an Astros jersey when he was a baby. He told me that at UCLA.
Really?
Yeah.
I've said that story on there. So
You
basically,
said it on the air here.
Yeah, I think, did I?
Yes.
Yeah, so hey.
So you're an Astros fan?
No,
Deep down.
absolutely not. My grandparents
I'm just trying to...
were living in Houston
Your
at the
family.
time, and they took me to one of those weird J.C. Penney things, and yes, there is a baby
why
picture.
Why is J.C. Penney's weird?
Well, but you know one of those like little things they take, like
it's a store.
I know it's not weird, but you know when
I
they
like
used to
J.C.
take
Penney's.
pictures at department stores back in the day, and I went there and there's a picture of me as a baby in an Astros uniform, and that's why I don't talk to my grandparents anymore, and we are estranged. Okay, that's what it is. Houston, we had a problem.
Nobody
and it was
can
that.
hold you accountable when you're too young to make the decisions yourself. But I read this, well, in part because Bursch gave it to me, but in part because this person clearly knows you. Left on base too often.
Interesting. I mean, I've run into a bunch of people in real life, so I'm curious. At UCLA, that's a interesting thing because that was probably someone I saw. I don't know.
Could be a friend.
Yeah,
in the chat.
He could be.
Hanging
I don't
out?
think it's a real friend.
You don't think it is?
I don't. Don't take anything.
That person
left on
Doug
base.
hates you.
It's not that. Sometimes, hey, when I'm out in public, oh, there's the goal again. Wow.
Yeah, that's
so. What's the defensive breakdown here?
Well, it was a bad clearance by it looked like one of our center backs, and the ball bounced around, landed at the foot of a Belgian player in the box, and he basically slid an easy little pass to whoever scored for the bad guys. That is, by the way, you can recover from these things, but we just got knocked in our teeth, and we need someone, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, to just stabilize things. I wouldn't rush. I would again. You got to grow into the game. Like we're right now. We're basically hitting balls over the top and going for sort of long passes to try to score. And I think that's the wrong play. I think it's get the ball, keep possession, have some touches for everybody, kick it around, grow into the game a little bit. We look panicked, man.
They look a little lost out there. A lot of ball watching, not getting their spots. They need to get it together.
Yeah, I mean that we look outclassed. Circling back to the Eric Lauer thing and the Roki thing, I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on a roll and it was really good stuff. You made me think of something about Roki Sasaki. Here's maybe a better way to frame where I'm at with Roki. And you know this, I'm a Roki. I don't know why. I love Roki. I think whenever the time comes where the Dodgers have to decide in the 6-man rotation between Roki and Lauer, as things stand right now, you go with Eric Lauer. So if enough other guys come back and or performance shifts happen, if there's a point where they have to decide between whether it's Roki in the starting rotation or it's Lauer, I think it's not even. And you said this earlier, but that's where that's when you put Roki in the bullpen.
Yeah, I think if you're going to have the conversation of which of these guys gives us the best chance to win today, which of these guys can we most trust to go at least 6 innings and get us a quality start, it would be Eric Lauer. It absolutely would. But then you factor in the upside, you factor in the future role of a particular player. And we've talked about it. Eric Lauer is like renting a car. And at some point when you rent a car, you turn it in. Hopefully you got the insurance because there's a lot of dents on it. You ran over the bumps. You weren't looking at the speed limit. Like, that's what Eric Lauer is, right? He's someone that is eating innings while the Dodgers get their pitchers healthy. But I will say that a lot of times these things tend to work themselves out for better or worse. A couple pitchers come back, 2 pitchers magically go on the IL, and they get their version of some rest, right? Because they know what they're playing for. And last year, the Dodgers, they had the fortune of having the injuries not derail their season because all their 4 starting pitchers were healthy. I think in this case, that would say a lot about how they feel about Roki's future if they were able to make that decision swiftly, knowing, hey, we're going to throw Roki in the bullpen because once he's there, it's tough to bring him back because he's already stretched out, right? 80 to 100 pitches. Once you go to the bullpen, you start to go down and you're looking at 40 pitches top. So I just think this organization has the long-term play in view for Roki Sasaki, and barring a couple catastrophic starts. And to your point, he's a guy that when he struggles mightily. He doesn't tough out 4, 5, 6 inning starts when he doesn't have his stuff. If he doesn't have his stuff, you could be looking at 3 inning starts. And when that's the case, you start to have to dip into that bullpen. So I hope it's not the case. I want to see Roki go this entire year in the rotation. And then when the postseason rolls around, they need to throw him in there. But Eric Lauer is making a very strong case to stay here longer than they originally planned he would.
DMAC and Reiter. He's Doug McCain. I'm Bill Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Thank you for everyone who's been listening, calling in at 855-97-LA-FAN, or hanging out in the chat, on the stream, on YouTube at The Fan LA, at The Fan LA. Today's starting lineup, by the way, for the Dodgers. Obviously, Eric Lauer is the starting pitcher. Shohei Ohtani, Doug, who you wanted to retire earlier in the show. Or did I miss? I'm sorry.
I believe you did. Let me go get the recording of that.
Take a lot. Do you want him to start on Wednesday?
No, I do not.
Okay, so that's we're misaligned there. Andy Paz in the 2 spot. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Kyle Tucker, Teo, Muncy, Rojas, Dalton Rushing. By the way, we haven't hit this yet. The Dalton Rushing, Shohei Ohtani saga on Friday went well.
It absolutely did.
Fine.
It did. And they talked about it after the game. They were on the same page. Dalton mentioned a few different times that Shohei is an extra challenging pitcher to catch just because he's so good, right? The arsenal can be wide range when you look at what's working on a given night. Sometimes Shohei's going four-seam fastball and sweeper. Sometimes he wants to work in that splitter. That's in some of the other pitches. He can work in a curveball if he needs to. So I think for Dalton Rushing, this has been a great learning experience. I saw on Mookie and Muncy's podcast, they were talking about it.
We played it last week.
Yeah.
That was good.
And that just shows you that, hey, when Mookie, when Muncy, when Freddie, when Dave, when they are as trustworthy to a younger player as we saw in all those clips, it really speaks to Dalton Rushing's future on this team. So I'm very proud of Dalton Rushing. Everyone wanted to... What's going on here?
We look like garbage is what's going on.
These
here.
reactions are unbelievable.
I'm just going to say this again. It actually pisses me off. Like, setting aside whether or not those people out
there... But
there...
these guys got to play too, though.
Dude, I get it. But setting aside if Balogun should or shouldn't have had a red card, and setting aside the craziness of his red card being overturned, it's recalibrated the atoms of both of these teams. Belgium looks like they're a bat out of hell, focused on revenge for the world, and I'm not justified or not, and we look completely shook.
Can we get the goal overturned?
We look...
I don't know.
Oh
I don't know how it works. Is it possible? You never know.
Yeah, you never do.
Pick up the phone.
You know what it is? And again, the president getting involved and the head of FIFA getting involved. It's like the parent, whether they mean well or not, who runs onto the baseball field and embarrasses, right? Who's not the coach. Yeah. All you're going to do is humiliate the team you're trying to help, even if you mean well, helicopter parent. That's what happened.
I agree. I mean, I do think that this team does not look like the same joyous group that we've seen throughout this tournament.
They look like a joyous AYSO group.
They look shook.
One goal changes it, though. Like, that's the thing is
that's about soccer.
God!
The soccer is the wave of emotions. When you're down by one goal, feels like you're down by 100, right? Let's get level. Let's get the equalizer.
Belgium looks so good, dude. Oh,
wow. That's just a bad pass.
They're just... But the thing is, Belgium, man, they look motivated and they look out to... We look shook. We look absolutely shook.
Wow, is that a play? Well, here's the thing, too.
Killing me, dude.
By doing that, by having Balogun in this game, which, look, if he's eligible to play, you got to play him. But now that's the story, right. And if they don't win, that will ultimately be what you remembered most about this run for the U.S. team. You hate to say it, but that's just the facts.
If USA... Look, there's a lot of game to go. And again, a single goal change... I think... Oh, my God, guys. Sorry. Like, USA is trying to hand a goal to Belgium. I'm sorry, I'm screaming into your microphone here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. And I want to apologize to AYSO teams everywhere for comparing you to this U.S. men's national team right now, because that was unfair, even if you're under 9. It's not that... We are... Dude, this is a level... You know how coaches are always talking about distractions and make the main thing the main thing and don't get sideways. Those cliches are easy to drown out, but it's real. This is a U.S. men's national team that looks like they've been thinking about something nonstop that has nothing to do with actually playing this match. We look utterly and totally shook.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. You're absolutely right. They do look discombobulated. They look disconnected, and it's the giveaways that you're seeing here. But I think big picture, Belgium has a lot of quality on that side. But the U.S. cannot get dog-walked in this one.
But I don't think
get dog-walked and embarrassed. I mean, you're
I think
right.
our quality matches. Yeah, that's like an equal...
Yeah, it's coin flip, right?
It should be. We just look so overwhelmed right now. It's really frustrating as a U.S. fan to watch our team play like we've never been in this situation before. We just won a knockout game. I mean, that game against Paraguay in the first round of the group stage was such an incredible result, as it turns out.
They need to settle down. They look very tight right now.
Yeah, they need a leader. I need Tyler Adams or what? McKennie's more of a sort of frenetic, high energy, so it's not him. I need Tyler Adams and to just take the sting out of the game, to operate like you're a conservative defensive midfielder and just hold on to the ball and chill and take 3 or 4 minutes and just take the anger and the frustration and the sting out of Belgium's approach. Because Belgium right now looks like they are possessed by the ghost of Christmas revenge or something. I don't know. Like
they're dominating. They have dominated this game so far, and it has looked like two very different sides. So the U.S. has got a lot of time, a lot of opportunities here. All you need is one goal to level this thing. It's a whole different conversation. You can ride that momentum, but they look tight right now. They looked like a team that has had a lot on their minds leading up to this match. And I was hoping that just the start of this game would free a lot of that and they could just go out there and play. But clearly, they got out to a very bad start. And the good thing is just one goal so far. You can find a way to get back into this thing, but a lot needs to change up in Seattle if Team USA is going to advance.
Here is your world-class soccer analysis to close this out before we leave here for a second. The next goal was a big goal. I mean, the next goal is the goal that I think probably wins the match. All right, the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. We're going to keep oohing and eyeing into the microphone as we watch the U.S. men's national team game against Belgium. We're also going to talk some more Lakers next on DMAC and Reiter. DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That is calldowntown.com. We are not very focused because we are watching the game. Should we do Harwood headlines? We never did it. Are you interested in that? Is that a thing? Poor Birch.
Some good stories there.
What do you think, Birch?
The streets love Harwood headlines. I will say that.
Do they?
Yeah, they really do.
The streets feel it?
They do.
Making Birch scramble, though. Take your time. We're watching the game. USA is playing like absolute garbage. There's certainly time to turn it around. And my partner said this, DMAC, you were right. If it wasn't for that save by Matt Freese that was awesome in the very beginning of the game, I think third minute, it was a wonder save. This game would be 2-0. And if it gets to 2, I'm just telling you right now, 2-0 in soccer, they say, is the most dangerous scoreline there is. And they mean in the sense that if you're up 2-0, you're in trouble. If we go down 2-0, it's over, dude. We are so shook. There's no way we're coming back down 2-0.
It would be a very tough hill to climb. Nothing's impossible. I would still give them some type of chance just because of my patriotism, homerism, whatever you want to call it, hoping that this team wins. But I'm with you. I mean, 2 goals would feel like being down 20 goals.
First, should we do NFL headlines? Just kidding. That was me. I'm just joking. It's time for a segment. Hardwood headlines time.
Ball don't lie. Time for Hardwood headlines with DMAC and Reiter.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, dude.
That's
My
all
bad.
good. Hey.
Wait, did we score?
Oh, hey.
Let's go. I was on a free kick. I
Stop the
missed
music.
it. Hardwood headlines. I got. What the hell?
They scored.
Let's go.
Number 1.
Let's go, baby. Wipe those smug looks off your face.
We are so back.
What was that?
We are so back.
I like that a lot. I miss it because I was focused. I blame you, Birch, for following my lead on Hardwood headlines. That is is that Malik Tillman again? That is another. Wow, oh my God, right down the middle.
What a shot.
Tillman is a hero, dude. Wow.
That was an absolute banger by Tillman.
Yeah, you know what, though? It's a deflection off the head of one of the Belgium defenders, but who gives a heck?
Now let's play.
Oh, let's go. You need a little bit of luck to win the World Cup. All right, now let's see if this just shakes off, because we have played like garbage. Let's see if this, that's a nice touch. That's a nice touch. Let's get it. And a very hard foul. Well, they didn't call a foul. They just, was that Pulisic? They threw him to the ground.
I want to know what Pochettino said to these guys during the hydration break. He must have lit a fire into this group.
I don't know, dude. I think they were still playing badly. I think Tillman just came up and had a little bit of magic.
Hey, that's all you need in soccer.
He's like you. He brings magic when we need it. Why'd you give me that look?
That was a good look.
You look worried. You looked a little worried. All right. Well, we're. I hope the bosses aren't listening. We're off the rails here. It's time for Hardwood headlines.
Ball don't
there it is.
lie. Time for Hardwood headlines with DMAC and Reiter.
All right. Yes. Oh, jeez.
You've got to be kidding me.
What happened? A score for Belgium?
Belgium scored again. What is happening?
Why?
What?
Why? These games have been crazy. Buckle up.
On.
The defense is atrocious.
Terrible.
Wow. What happened to the defense?
I mean, our back line has always been kind of a worry and a concern, but there's just a lack of focus. Just goes around our guy, crosses to the left, no marking whatsoever.
Sigh. Man.
Wait, was that off the goal? Did the goalie? No, that's just no marking at all. That's terrible. All right. Every time we do this, somebody scores. So you know what?
Yo, crank up.
To bring a goal, because we at the new 97.1 Fan, the voice of LA Sports, can control the universe. It's time for Hardwood headlines.
Ball don't lie. Time for Hardwood headlines with DMAC and Reiter.
All right, they haven't resumed play yet, so
it's coming.
Let's see how this goes. Okay, Hardwood headlines. Hey, as you guys mentioned earlier, Rui Hachimura is staying in Los Angeles, signing with the Clippers for 2 years, $28 million.
Is it weird that the Clippers are quietly kind of an interesting basketball team without Kawhi?
They made some moves. They have, certainly. I think getting out from Kawhi, bringing in Rui Hachimura, one to stay in L.A., certainly a player that I think could help a lot of teams around the league. Will say he does have the highest playoff three-point shooting percentage of all time. That's going to be safe because I don't think he's going to be in the playoffs with the Clippers. So we'll see what happens.
I was wondering where you're going with that, but you're going right to the place you're supposed to go. Amazing. The Clippers team that I've liked most ever was the season before Kawhi and Paul George showed up. And I can't even name their players. Remember, they had 7 or 8. They were basically a non-talented version of the Pistons team that won a title this century. They played defense. They worked their asses off. They played as a team. That's what this next group is going to have to be like. And they grinded their way to the playoffs that year.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's some interesting pieces. I think as a Lakers fan, I just like the fact that Rui didn't go to Minnesota or didn't go to San Antonio, a team that you could have faced him in the playoffs. It could have been a threat. So, hey, he wants to stay in L.A. He can still throw up his patented L.A. hand sign that he loves to do. He bought a nice house here. He loves the beach. He loves the weather. So I think he's in a pretty ideal spot for him.
Is he a beach guy?
I mean, I don't know.
You just made that up completely.
Who doesn't
I was
love
like,
the beach?
oh, wait, does he live near me?
He has a nice house here by the beach, but I don't know if that makes him a beach guy. I mean, he's such a big dude. He just walks around the beach. It's a celebrity. He's a Laker.
It's Rui Hacha making stuff up. What are you talking? Wait,
Look, everyone loves the beach.
Does he have a house near the beach?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm not going to just give him his, address here.
Yes or no? Do you know
Yes,
where
he does. It was a big thing about how he got a big house. And there was a beach involved.
Probably lives in
the
Calabasas.
Pacific Ocean.
Probably lives in Pasadena.
I think he lives in San Bernardino. He commutes.
All right. Next up here, Rich Paul on his podcast, Game Over, laid out the key factors that he's been studying to find LeBron's next team.
Defensive ratings, on-ball defense from individuals, help defense from individuals, looking at how offenses is ran, and it's so much that I probably don't have to do all the things that I do, but I choose to do it because I just think it's important. What has been the history of someone in this position valuing a possession? That's going to matter.
What is he talking about? What?
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, what's a team with a better defense, right?
Can you play the last 4 or 5 seconds? Is that easy to do on the technology here on the new 97 on the
Someone in this position valuing a possession. That's going to matter.
Well, we were going to sign with the Spurs, but they don't value a possession, so we're out on you. Hey, yeah, it's me, the Miami Heat. Do you value a possession? Oh, shucks, we don't. All right, he's not going there either. What's he talking about, dude? Who doesn't value a possession? He's just saying words to make words. I can do it too. You know, I like it when the flux capacitor really has the value of the transactional. What does that mean? Nothing. It just sounds good. What does he mean, value the possession? I'm over these guys, bro. I'm so annoyed.
I would say this. I mean, I do not need my agents giving us basketball analysis and content. That's the thing for me. I'm so done with having my player's agent making headlines based on what he likes or does not like about a team. Let's not forget, it was Rich Paul that wanted the Lakers to trade Austin Reeves for Jaren Jackson Jr., right? Things like that. So I will absolutely not miss this part of LeBron James being a star on your team. Is we don't need their agents kind of meddling and talking about your team. I'm so over this for sure.
If Rich Paul in a free agency is comfortable showing a whiteboard that breaks down potential fake locations for LeBron, what do you think LeBron was like behind the scenes when JJ was trying to write on an actual whiteboard?
Exactly, right? And just being a distraction for someone like Austin Reeves.
100%, man.
Guy who's trying to get paid, trying to fit in. Like, we just don't need that kind of noise. Absolutely not.
Did he say did he really say a place that value? Can I play it again? I can't believe that's actually, this guy matters in the business. This is like LeBron's goal.
Choose to do it because I just think it's important. What has been the history of someone in this position valuing a possession? That's going to matter.
The history of someone in this position valuing, they almost scored again, valuing a possession. Bro, everybody values a possession. What are you talking about? Our goal is to sign a point guard who only turns the ball over. Oh, you're out.
Yeah.
It doesn't
mean much. I feel you on that. It also just kind of feels like it's like a politician starting a news network, right? It's like We don't need that level of influence. We don't need to hear from a guy like that. But hey, we'll see.
Can't he just announce where he's going? The time's right. But in fairness, like this guy, first he had the decision, right? Then he had to have Lee Jenkins, who I like, but write an entire story in Sports Illustrated about it. I mean, LeBron tends to want it to be a production. Like most fiction productions, the ending's already written. We just have to pretend that we're surprised.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to absolutely milk this for all it's worth. This is the last time we're going to care about it. I think most people are kind of viewing this as, yeah, it's pretty interesting if your team's involved, but it just doesn't have that same level of buzz as the other ones did. And that's obviously going to be the case because he's not the same player that he was. But, hey, they're doing their due diligence. I guess it feels like that.
Well, Draymond Green on the Draymond Green Show gave his thoughts on the Lakers losing LeBron.
I still think people don't understand the force, the weight that this guy carry, from a overall standpoint, the economics that he bring to a team, the economic impact that he may have on the city, and then also the basketball. Like anytime LeBron James is on the floor, A, your team have a chance to win, but B, you have to account for him in a major way. And I think personally, the Lakers are going to feel that next year.
I mean, look, I'm not mad at Draymond for being full of it too, because he's trying to recruit LeBron James. And there is absolutely zero doubt about LeBron's massive economic impact at one time on Cleveland, Ohio. And that was a real thing. He had an economic impact on the value of the Lakers, but I don't think he had an economic impact on the Los Angeles bottom line. Again, LeBron can go where he wants, and unlike you, I may root for him if he goes to Cleveland. That may be in my heart somewhere. I don't know. The mealy-mouthed ass-kissing that goes on involving LeBron James, I had trouble with it when he was 28 and worth it. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and I think if you're Draymond Green, as you point out, there's still a probably internal hope that maybe he does consider the Golden State Warriors. But I think the Lakers know the financial ramifications of not having LeBron there for his financial gain and a potential farewell tour. I don't think anyone thinks that. We all know the kind of player he is at this stage of his career, but the truth is, I don't think people are talking about maybe Luka did not want to play with LeBron James. And if that was the case, that's all that mattered, is to try to cater to Luka, to make sure that he was the guy that felt supported by the organization. And I think that is something that people are losing sight of when it comes to LeBron James. You mean to tell me Luka did zero recruiting of LeBron? I mean, even 1%? If he had done even a little bit, you would think that this would have been handled a little differently in the media.
If Luka had said, I want LeBron James to be on the team, he'd be on the team.
Exactly.
But also, my guess is LeBron made it very difficult for Luka to want to recruit him. Here we go again. That should have been a third goal, but it wasn't because they're Belgium. But we're playing like, an AYSO, under 8 team, so that's cool.
Hey, last one here in Hardwood headlines. The NBA Summer League is underway. Cameron Carr dropped 26 points with 8 rebounds and an assist on Sunday.
I said this earlier. I've covered Summer League, and I know that nothing that happens in Summer League matters. It has zero significance. It has no bearing in the future. It doesn't mean anything. Cameron Carr forever. I'm sold. I've been suckered into it. I'm a multi-time All-Star, difference maker. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, I mean, look, he looks like a stud. He was poised. He was in control. He looks faster now than he did in college in some of those highlights. So I'm all in on Cam Carr, too, especially because we had his coach, Scott Drew, on the show, and I think he really laid out what kind of player and person he is and how loyal he has the potential to be with the Lakers. And 26 points, you kidding me? Getting off to that start? Look, I know that I'm with you. Summer League, Lonzo Ball was like the Summer League MVP. It's kind of like a trailer to a movie. Sometimes it looks like it's going to be an Oscar winner, and it's not a great movie.
I love trailers.
I love trailers too, but sometimes a really good trailer doesn't really fit how good the movie was. That's what Summer League can be. It's a really a little snapshot of what a player can be because of the competition they're going up against.
Do you think we could get Lindsay or somebody to put together a trailer of DMAC and Reiter? Like a real
In a
trailer.
world.
Yeah. In a world where sports takes often suck, come two heroes to change everything. And they'll change it by updating you on the U.S. men's national. In a world where the music plays and the trailer starts over,
they'll still update you on the U.S. men's national team.
There's a bad take, help!
With bomb sounds next on DMAC and Reiter.
Show DMAC and Reiter here. Presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222, or visit calldowntown.com. U.S. men's national team could not have halftime come soon enough. I know they're only down 2-1, but they need a break, man. Belgium is just, they're better. I mean, I guess you push here and you try to go for an equalizer. There's about 6 minutes of stoppage time. We're about 4.5 minutes into that, so a minute and a half or so to go. Dude, I know we've been saying this, we just look shook, bro. We just don't look very good.
Yeah, you said it best. Just get into the half. Hopefully it feels like a second game in the second half, and you get past any issues you were having. But they've been dominated. They've been absolutely outclassed and dominated by a Belgian team that just looks hungrier. They look more ready to play. They look crisper. And you look at this U.S. team, especially in the early part of this game, a lot of standing around. You were able to get that goal to level it, and then you give a goal shortly thereafter. So, yeah, I think it's like we've seen with this World Cup a lot of wild second halves.
A lot of time left.
You're going to have to need that if you're the U.S. for the most part, because you're going to have to score some goals if you want to advance in this World Cup.
I mean, I said this earlier, and I still think and we still may win this thing, and I hope we do. We have our striker, Flo Balogun, playing in a way that is unprecedented. People have been angry, and the U.S. team looks off balance in a way that I think is probably impacted by a very unusual happening. Here's an attack. Here we go. Nothing. Corner kick.
Hey, here's the thing, Bill. All this talk about Balogun, right? And rightfully so. He's their leading goal scorer. But can we finally get that magic Christian Pulisic moment? Can we finally get that moment?
My brother
needs
just
to
wrote
wake
me
up.
that he's having a shocker, which, as you know, because you're also a soccer guy, is soccer term for playing like trash.
We
You're
need
right,
a better version of that. He's supposed to be the star of the team. He's supposed to be the guy that leads this team to the next level. And
in Endgame, when Thanos showed up, did Captain America run away?
He did it!
Sorry. You got into it. You got emotional.
I was getting hyped.
Weirdly, I went back and watched that scene this weekend. I don't know why. Captain America, of the trio who fought Thanos at the end before everybody showed up, was by far the most formidable. Christian Pulisic, more like Groot so far.
Wow.
Yeah, some
Throwing
Groot
the Groot comp
Groot action going on.
Christian.
Dude, have you seen Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling yet?
I was close to watching this weekend.
It's great.
You can purchase it. So now
it's free.
Usually as a
No, it's free.
No, it's free on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Boom.
Bam.
Yo.
It's a movie.
I'm gonna watch it.
Oh no. He went over the line. Over the line. There are rules, Smokey. That was you 1,000%.
I cannot wait to
there.
see it though.
All right, I think we're at halftime here.
Okay.
2-1. Belgium is up. Honestly, like whenever someone says honestly, they're about to lie. So let me just say that again. Here's the deal. We are lucky to get out of that half only down a goal. We have not played well. We have not covered ourselves in glory. It has not been acceptable. We are very, very fortunate that we're only down a single goal.
Now's the time. Pochettino needs to get into the heads of this team and make sure, hey, you come out with a better level of focus. I mean, Pulisic looks like he wants nothing to do with the ball. And Balogun, all the controversy, all the headlines, this would be extremely disappointing for a U.S. team. And absolutely disappointing if this team does not find a way to at least tie this thing and make a game out of this in the second half. I mean, you're just a goal away. You got to find a way to do whatever it takes. Come on. Now's the time. Team USA.
I blame you for two things.
Wow.
They're related, okay? I'm just going to give them to you in no particular order. One, my son walked up to me yesterday and said, "It's a wallet." And then he goes, why do you guys say that? That's a true story. And then two, in absolutely related news, let me just credit the right person here. I will flip you the bird, just put in the chat at the Fan LA, "Soccer boy!" in all caps. You like that one?
I like that one. I like that one.
I blame you, sir. Because you're too funny for my own good.
Look, I think it's been great to have this tournament take over especially in what is usually the dog days of summer where you got a lot of baseball, right? I mean, the World Cup has been magical. It's been a fantastic World Cup. I saw you tweet that yesterday, how it's been an incredible World Cup.
Aw. You follow me on X.
Yeah.
Look at the friendship.
Hey.
Hey.
I bookmarked it. I favorited it.
I have alerts on you.
You have alerts?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
I like to see when your content comes out.
Of course, because how else would you have tweets printed out and put on this desk for you to read and use against me during this show like we saw last week?
Oh, yeah, what was that? That one's crazy. What was it? What did
I
you say?
forgot. I mean, that's a lot. My Twitter fingers go crazy.
I don't remember either.
So, but if the U.S. does not come back to win this game, it's going to feel like a major missed opportunity because it's not like you're going up against a world superpower.
Tony J just said, I agree. It seems like the USA team are happy just to make it this far. Where's the passion at? Or I won't say I agree. They're playing at that level. I don't think it's fear. I think that they are the most distracted top-level soccer team that I can remember. I mean, I'm sure there's other examples. I think this Balogun thing, the Balogun thing became a political story. It became a divisive, the way that everything becomes divisive in America. It became the entire world being incredulous. It became, I mean, look, a lot of these guys, the reason the U.S. men's national team, as you know, DMAC, is really good is a lot of our guys play in Europe, which is you want to play in the Big Five leagues, but any of the European leagues are higher level than MLS. The entire UEFA, which is basically the FIFA of Europe, the sort of branch of FIFA that's in Europe, is outraged, which means it would be like if you had if you were in this job and you had a side hustle that you got to do for 3 weeks in the summertime, and everyone at this place hated you as you were trying to do your other job, and you thought you were in the wrong, and everyone told you were in the wrong. It would just throw you off a little bit. And so whatever the president's intentions, whatever U.S. men national team's intentions, if they have anything to do with it, whatever FIFA's intentions, I think that the Balogun super controversy, because in our bubble in America, right, we're America fans, we're like, yeah, let's go. But outside of that, all the noise that all of these players are aware of and they're swept up in, I think it's thrown us completely off balance.
Yeah, I think it's the combination of the pressure, being that home team, getting a Belgian team that I think is playing at a different level because of it too. I think it lit a fire under that team, and clearly they protested it too. They didn't want to see that. So I think it's a combination of things. It'll be interesting to hear what they have to say. But if this result does not go their way, I think the most unfortunate thing about all of this is years from now when you look back, that's going to be one of the talking points for this run. And it was not like that before that. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping the U.S. can come back and win this one. I have faith in these guys. I'm going to believe. I believe that we will win.
Do you want to be my soccer Sherpa here?
Yeah.
You call me soccer boy. Can you be counselor guy? Should I stay here and watch the second half down 2-1 so I can see it, or should I drive home and listen?
Well,
it's a tricky one, right?
It depends. How locked in could you be on the road? I say stay here. I mean, the soccer games go by pretty fast. They really do. But if it's overtime, penalty kicks, you might have to sleep here.
That's true. If it goes to stoppage,
yeah.
If it goes to extra,
so that's the risk you run.
I think I'm going to stay.
You gonna stay?
We're going to stay.
Going to stay, yeah.
Friends, do you have a line on food?
Wow.
Here.
I got a text saying, heard you were staying there to watch the game.
You
That's
did?
from my wife.
Remember your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She knows.
USA. USA.
Why did a flash of fear cross your eyes?
I don't know.
What's going on here on DMAC and
Did you
Reiter?
see what Cristiano Ronaldo said, by the way?
No.
He said the Euro has the same value as the World Cup. Dude is a straight up.
He said it today?
That's what
He's
I'm saying.
He's a loser, man. He's the worst.
I cannot believe that.
Oh, my God. This is why nobody likes Cristiano Ronaldo.
Dude,
but everybody likes
he sets
Doug McKay.
himself up, dude.
And some people like Bill Reiter. And that makes DMAC and Reiter very popular here on 97.1 The Fan. Thank you for listening. Thanks for bearing with our screaming about the U.S. men's national team game. Go USA. We hope tomorrow we have better news to bring you than we have at half. USA down 2-1 to Belgium in the knockout game. But we'll see what happens over the course of 45 more minutes. Thanks for hanging. He's DMAC. I'm Reiter. We'll see you here tomorrow on DMAC and Reiter.